Hey, I'm on the edge of my seat here, back again with another brand new video, and today I will be no damaging all the missions in Splinter Cell Blacklist. Not only will I be no damaging these missions, I will also proceed to Ghost Master every single level. Well, except for the one on screen, because this mission is a tutorial level. I'm actually quite surprised that you can replay this mission. Now, Splinter Cell Blacklist, it has the same mission structure of the previous games, but instead of presenting them in a linear order, kind of like from a select list, they're placed on this map, kind of like darts on a world map. You need to throw some darts at the screen. That's how the missions are presented. You can kind of change what type of missions pop up, because it shows you your active missions. But if you beat in the game, the only active mission that shows up is the final level. But you don't just want to replay the final level, no, you want to replay the other levels as well. But in order to do that, you have to go to one of the modifiers at the bottom of the screen, when you're looking at the mission select world map, and you have to change it to campaign missions. But even if you do this, this level will not show up. So instead, you have to keep clicking that thing until you select all missions. And once you have all missions, then this mission will appear at a very far corner of the world map the game presents you with. And for this walkthrough, I will say I've looked at other walkthroughs to help me out. And the main channel I want to shout out is TGP482. He makes some of the best Splinter Cell content around, and I highly recommend watching his videos, because I did watch his videos for strategies on how to approach these levels. Now, before this point, there was no real strategy to speak of, but now there is some strategy happening. You can run past this entire section, but now you have to take cover. You have to run to this piece of cover. Then you have to run to this piece of cover. We're going to be hugging the right side of the map, and now we're going to stay here until this guard gets into a very convenient position where we can slip past them. Now, could you knock them out? Yes, but knocking them out will cause some very adverse effects which we do not want to cause, and it's better if we just ghost past these enemies. And now here, we're going to wait until a couple enemies are out of the way to kind of dash past them. Though dashing past them has some negative consequences. Also, you may have noticed in the beginning of this section where you're supposed to knock out that one guard, I quickly turned on the menu screen, the quick select weapon wheel, and I changed from a lethal output to a non-lethal output. I will be sticking to a non-lethal output for the duration of this video, but you could go lethal. You just have to change it in that weapon select wheel. And now here we're in the actual first main level of the game, and yes, I did get caught at the end of that first level, but since I'm not being ranked, you wouldn't know if I got Ghost Mastery or not. But technically, I kinda didn't, but just kind of ignore that section. I didn't put it in the title of this video just because of that. And for the type of playstyle I'll be approaching for this video, I'll be doing a mix of ghost and hand-to-hand tactics. What that means is I'll try to do mostly a ghost walkthrough, but I'm also going to knock out people sometimes because it just kind of makes my life easier. And if you're wondering about my voice, I've contracted a nasty throat virus, which has changed my molecular structure. It's just something we're gonna have to deal with. Another thing you're going to have to deal with for the first 3 missions in this video is this flickering mouse that'll appear every now and then. So this game came out around the time that Direct 11 came out. Also, to start out, we'll be taking out these 2 guards. You could just wait for them to kind of move away, but that takes time, and I do not want to waste time. And then from here, we're going to go around the building. We're going to hug the right side of the building, then we can just sprint. I will say that you can upgrade your equipment in this game, and I have fully upgraded my suit to be fully stealthy. Now, what fully upgrading your suit to be fully stealthy does is that it means you can run without making noise, though if you're too close to an enemy, it's still going to make some noise. And now once you reach this part, you're going to wait for this guard to pass by. You can't really go under him. You have to wait for him to turn away, because if you go under him and he's still there, he will see you. Now, I forgot to elaborate on that Direct 11 issue. So this game came out around a time where Direct 11 was something you could do. I don't know much about Direct 11. All I know is that there is Direct 11 and there is Direct 9. But if you play this game at Direct 11, while you're playing this game, there will come points where a mouse will flicker on and off on your screen. And it won't just be this cursor, your shooting cursor, which allows you to know where you're going to shoot your weapon. No, it's going to be the mouse cursor that appears in the menu. But that mouse cursor is going to appear at points which it shouldn't even appear on the menu. Also, I hope that whatever I did on screen was recognizable enough that I wouldn't have to explain how I did that. I just kind of went from cover to cover. You can slide from cover to cover pretty easily in this game. And if you fully upgraded your radar, it just makes it all the easier. So I've been mostly ghosting, but now this is the one point you cannot ghost. We have to take out every single enemy in this room. But yes, on Direct 11, the mouse will just flicker on and off, on and off, on and off, and you will notice it happening throughout the first 3 missions in this video. But it stops once I hit the 4th mission. Why is that? That's because I switched my graphics to Direct 9. Now, the issues with Direct 9, I don't know how it happens, but the flickering mouse issue goes away completely. However, a completely new issue replaces that Direct 9 issue. Instead of having the flickering mouse problem, also here, there's going to be a bit of conflict happening, and you just kind of have to pray that the enemies don't see you. I just had myself a little hiccup there. But yes, you have to kind of just rush this entire section, just hope that the other enemies don't see you, hope that, oh, okay, well, that guy was very lucky. Like, it's all kind of luck-based. I kind of did this mission all in one run, and, you know, it was very lucky that guy did not see me. Oh my goodness, because maybe there's a point where maybe he could have seen me, but he did not see me. And now here, you could wait for this guard to kind of move out of the way, but me, I believe I'm going to just straight up take him out from the air, because I think it's a very cool takedown. Look at that. Isn't that animation so cool? I wanted to keep it in the video. Also, I wanted to show off that you can indeed hide bodies, though for most of my strategies, hiding bodies is irrelevant, but you can do it, and that is one of the many big improvements which I really like from Conviction. Now, I have no damage conviction. Oh yeah, so here's another strategy you want to do. You want to go to the left side of this level and then get to this point. And then once you get to this point, you just start slowly making your way through here. Just watch out. The enemy can see you if you're not careful. And then once you reach this point, you can just climb up this part, and then it makes things traversing this whole thing a lot easier. You can kind of skip a whole bunch of enemies taking this exact path. And yeah, you can do, there's a lot of ghosting paths in this game, which are mostly amount to climbing. But yeah, there's one issue on Direct 9. So I record these videos with OBS, and I record these videos on a laptop, and that causes a lot of complications. One of the complications that, like, my footage isn't always the best, and also my laptop has a weird resolution, so it's not 1920 by 1080, though this video is 1920 by 1080 because I upscaled it slightly in Premiere. It's actually like 1728 by 1080, but I added a letterboxing effect which made it easier to upscale in Premiere. Also, I really like the, well, I'll get to this point later, but one issue is I would alt-tab out of my full-screen Blacklist playthrough to check on OBS so that I can start recordings, end recordings, and I could do that on Direct 11. It was a bit clunky, but I could do it. However, if you're playing this game on Direct 9, you cannot alt-tab out of the game, because once you alt-tab out of the game, if you try to load up the game again, all you will get is an empty screen. Thankfully, it doesn't brick your laptop, but the game's gone. You're just gonna have to shut the game off and start it all over again. And it is easy to do. The game even has a built-in quit the desktop option. Quit the desktop option. I hope that word was understandable. But it was very annoying. It makes things less convenient because you have to quit the entire game just to do a new recording on OBS. Especially when I want to record some of the funny moments which happen every now and then. And here's an annoying aspect of this game. This game sometimes has optional objectives like capture a very important VIP figure. But once you do that objective, it will never show up again. So, I mean, previous Splinter Cell games had optional objectives, but when you replay these levels, those optional objectives are still there. But with this game, once you do them, they are gone forever, even on replays. And I just find that very, very sickening. to get back to the Direct 9 issue, I did not come up with that on my own. TGP actually let me know of this issue when I complained about the flickering mouse issues in Blacklist, so I figured out that information by myself, and this is one of my favorite moves in the game. You just slide into cover, but the enemy's in the way of the cover, and you just take them out while you're sliding to that next piece of cover. I find that very nice, though I will say I wish I could talk about more strategy in this game, but my mind is going slightly blank because it's been so long since I've beaten this game. It's been a week since my no commentary version, or at least I hope it's been a week because I would like to get this video out today. Merry Christmas, everyone. But and this game is set somewhat around Christmas. There'll be a certain level which will really hone in on that detail. Now here I'm going to mess up slightly because oh my goodness, I hate these dog enemies so much, but I clutch it. It's kind of a yes. There's a combat knockout there, but it's just one combat knockout. The rest of this is going to be very stealthy, so I'm still going to get the Ghost Mastery. The Ghost Mastery can be slightly demanding in certain levels, but for the most part it is actually surprisingly forgiving. But yes, to get back to what I was saying, I would like to talk more strategy, but I keep finding myself at a loss for words because it's been so long. And also, I've already started playing Roblox 3, so some of my mind is already preoccupied thinking about what I would say for Roblox 3 in comparison to Splinter Cell Blacklist, and that is a shame, because it has been an enjoyable replay, this one. Now, where would I rank Splinter Cell Blacklist? I don't know. Anyways, the strategy is wait for that guard to pass by, then go up this wall, and hope that the other guard doesn't catch you, and then slowly make your way, hug the right side of this kind of terrain. Be careful of the enemies walking past, because the main thing you want to do is climb this. Once you climb this, you're home free. It's a secret path, and it's going to put you just pretty much in the next part of the level with no real complications.
Sam, what's your status?
I'm inside.
But yes, one thing stopping me from releasing the video early, because most of the time I release these commentary videos pretty early, usually on the next day, or if the video's really long, on the next 2 or 3 days. But it has been a week, and this throat virus was a big thing affecting this, because oh my goodness, the throat virus is so annoying. I could barely sleep. I could barely go about my day without being annoyed by it. Oh, it was just so irritating. It was not fun. And I'm still slightly dealing with it. It's been 5 or 6 days and I'm still dealing with this annoying throat virus, which makes it annoying to swallow. It's nowhere near as bad as it was the first couple days, but it is still very annoying. And yeah, because of that, I'm kind of at a loss for words for these strategies, because my outline doesn't really cover anything for this level in particular. So I just hope that what I'm doing is self-explanatory enough to kind of keep going in. Alright, so this is a very risky move you do sometimes. You don't really want to approach enemies from the front, especially some of the later enemies which are more alert. But sometimes, if you approach an enemy and they go into full alert, you might get lucky. You might be able to actually take them out. Alright, now this is another big improvement from Conviction. So one thing I really hated in Splinter Cell Conviction is that, oh my goodness, you can't skip cutscenes in Conviction. It was so annoying. Watch my Conviction video, 40% of that is just cutscenes. But here, you can just skip all the cutscenes. And now my strategy here, since you can't use the mark and execute on Perfectionist difficulty. Oh yeah, Perfectionist difficulty. I really like Perfectionist difficulty because, well, for one, you can't use the overpowered mark and execute feature, so it changes up your entire play style. You have to be way more stealthy and also do more creative stuff like this. Instead of just pointing and clicking at enemies, you can use grenades and all that. Fuck me, I can't do that voice for the whole video. Yeah, I was trying to do a funny voice, but that voice is actually making my throat hurt more, so I think I'm just gonna stop. So yeah, the strategy here, you're very limited by the fact that you're carrying Coben around, so you pretty much have to kind of eliminate everyone in this room. And there's something which I kind of like, is the fact that, I don't know, when I first played this mission, it turned into this whole, war. You have finding these enemies just keep coming and coming and coming. But if you're really stealthy and just take everyone out before that alert happens, you can actually just leave. I really appreciate that. It rewards people who actually play this game stealthily. And yeah, like, there was something else I wanted to mention. I forgot.
Negative. Did we get confirmation on that? Okay, we're going to time series now. Negative. It's cold. Transmission confirmed. Upload progress.
Our accounts have been updated.
Yeah, Blacklist is a true return to form in a lot of ways, but it's not perfect, and this is one of the reasons it's not perfect. It just kind of shoehorns in these like drones action sequences, and just I don't want to play this. Like, I want to play a stealth game. I don't want to play whatever this is. Like, this reminds me of Call of Duty. I don't want to play Call of Duty. So that's like one thing that kind of annoyed me quite a bit with this game. And the thing is that you do this repeatedly. You constantly have these little action sequences, and like this is the hardest like version of that set action sequences. Like every other time it pops up, it's way easier. And to be fair, I don't like that it's hard. It's just kind of annoying. You kind of have to like take everyone out before someone else notices. So it's just kind of like you have to boom, 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 boom. It's like kind of like a rhythm game. We have to point and click at stuff, and I don't like it. Like, I mean, I want to play Splinter Cell for Splinter Cell. I don't want to play it for whatever that is. But yeah, here there's no real enemies, so you just kind of just run straight through that. Also, I've mentioned before that fully upgrading your stealth suit makes you quieter, so you can kind of just run straight through this entire area and no one will hear you. But another thing which fully upgrading your stealth suit does is that it gives you more gadgets, so you'll have more room to hold more gadgets, and not only will you have more gadgets, you'll also have more ammo for your weapons, for like the crossbow, for instance. The crossbow is like the most useful like thing for non-lethal runs. So yeah, so you just kind of run through the side here. Most of the time, the enemies won't notice you. And also, I'm playing on PC, so I'm using my keyboard and mouse controls. And also, this game is pretty comfortable using a Mac laptop, though to be fair, I think I might just be too accustomed to the Mac laptop, I don't know. But some of the other games, I use like an external like keyboard and mouse. But here, I didn't mind using like my Mac laptop too much. Like, it fit the game okay. So yeah, here I'm trying to be very quick, but don't be too quick, because that enemy actually can catch you, and if they catch you, well, it's a mission over. And then you just kind of fly up to this area. You listen to like some conversation for a bit, and then you move on from there. So yeah, like the crossbow, I didn't notice it at first because I didn't know how to switch ammo types, but yeah, you can have multiple ammo types with the crossbow. You can have like distractions with like the sticky noisemakers. You can have like electric bolts. You can have sleepy bolts. And at first I thought it only gave me sticky like noisemakers because like it's all I had. And in certain missions, they limit the amount of like ammo types you can use. I'll talk about those missions when we get there. But yeah, once the drone's destroyed, okay, so you enter the door here. I mean, well, first off, I think you wait. I mean, since I have the radar, I'm just waiting for a certain enemy to kind of get out of the way and look to the left. But if you don't have the radar, well, I guess you can kind of look under the door and like figure it out yourself. So yeah, here you just kind of run here, go to this window here. They just kind of just dash through everything since I'm fully sneaky. And then you climb up here, then you run over to this window, then you go to that window, and then over there, like, and once you enter this room, there's gonna be an enemy there. I mean, most of the time, I hope that enemy is like more to the side because I really don't like this enemy being here. But if the enemy's like right there, just knock him out. Whatever. Just gonna continue with that. And okay, something really dumb's gonna happen here. Look at this. Ding! What is that noise? What is that sound effect? It's so stupid. That isn't the only time it happens. It happens at multiple points throughout the story, and it's always like just throws me off. It's such a silly sound effect, just ding. It sounds like a stock sound effect, because it probably isn't. Oh, there's that beautiful flickering mouse I was talking about before. I hope that's not too annoying. But yeah, it'll be gone after the third mission. But
Yeah, it's just that ding sound effect. It keeps popping up over and over. And yeah, you'll probably notice that even when I'm skipping cutscenes, the cutscene still kind of plays out. And I'm assuming it's because they're loading the next part of the level. Another game which kind of did that was Hitman Absolution. And to be fair, I'm sure there's plenty of games which kind of did that. You know, like you can't skip the cutscene until like the next part's loaded in. I don't know. Hitman Absolution did a thing where it put its cutscenes into like the loading screens, which you know, it's a cool idea. I just don't like the story in Hitman Absolution, so it was annoying for me. But I'll talk more about that if I ever do Hitman Absolution. But yeah, so you can also do a lot more platforming in Blacklist. I actually like how mobile Sam is, even though it makes zero sense because he's like 60 years old in this game. Like, I mean, he shouldn't be able to do it like that. I mean, he's more flexible than like Ezio. Like, what's going on here? But you know, whatever. It makes the gameplay more fun. But the time when it's not so fun is when you have to do platforming like that, because like you know what's gonna happen. You just kind of hold a certain direction and Sam's gonna go there. I mean, when you're in a level and you can like climb over people and like climb onto like things or climb pipes, that stuff is fun because you know it's like level design. You know, it's like stealth gameplay. But oh, this part's like really luck based. You know, you kind of have to wait for that one guy to turn around, then you run over here, and it's just, I'm sorry, sometimes it's gonna fail. Like sometimes you are gonna get caught, and if you're trying to do this level in one run like I did now, well, that's just, you're gonna be screwed. You kind of have to deal with it. Kind of like how I have to. And now here, these two guys are very annoying because I don't know. Sometimes they'll be facing away. Sometimes like that sticky noisemaker will actually work and like distract them. But sometimes they'll just be here, and you can't exactly like climb over and run away because they'll see you. They'll alert the base, and it's just like, ah, come on, man, come on. But yeah, something else I like to mention about this game is that, well, one, I really like the color of the lights. Like, I don't know, in previous games you couldn't change the color of your lights, except in Chaos Theory. If you mod the game or like manipulate a certain value in the game, you can actually change the color of your lights. In my Chaos Theory video, if you see that video where I no damage that game, in the first level my lights are actually pink. I changed them to be pink. However, one fatal flaw of Chaos Theory is that you can't change the color of your lights in any other level except the first level. I don't know, for some reason, there must be like some value that forces your colors to be green in every single other level. But in the first level, you can manipulate it. But every other level, you're stuck with green. It's like, I don't want to be green, man. Come on. But yeah, that was kind of sad. But Blacklist kind of brings that, you know, that fun, you know, like light changing thing to life by actually making it an official part of the game. You know, you can unlock these lights, you can spend currency to get more lights, and you know, I'm not, like in every single level I'm going to be changing my lights. But yeah, I mean, the strategy there, you can kind of just walk past that guy who was, you know, fixing something. And to be fair, if you're not fully upgraded with your stealth suit, this game kind of has a thing you can toggle on and off on PC where you can walk slowly or walk fast. I mean, on console you just manipulate the control stick to, you know, slightly to move slowly or like fully to move faster, but you don't have that sort of flexibility on PC. Though to be fair, I kind of miss the flexibility you had with previous games where you kind of use the mouse like cursor, like the mouse wheel. You know, you kind of flick that up and down to control your speed. I really like that, but, you know, I guess in this game they're going for more binary things. You know, you don't have the shadow levels of previous games. You instead have, you're either in shadow, you're either not in shadow. Instead of doing that whole big, like, black and white filter when you're in shadow, they instead just make your lights lens flare. And that's another thing. This game really loves lens flares. Oh, my goodness. Like, there's lens flares here. There's lens flares there. There's lens flares every time you're in shadows. Like, oh, my, like... I don't know if I really hate it or love it, but it's just, like, it's extreme. Oh, yeah, this part can be quite challenging because you pretty much have to, like, drop down from that little part there. I'm going to take this guy out here. Shouldn't be too much of a biggie, but now this part's going to be a bit annoying. I think I'm actually going to wait here since I have... Oh, no, this is actually a different part. No, there's like... I think there's another part we have to drop down somewhere, but there's going to be guards around. You have to be careful about that. It's probably coming up now. But yeah, like, I mean, so you can change the color of your lights, and I really love that. Also, I mentioned how the throat sickness kind of like stopped me from making videos, but another thing that kind of stopped me from making videos is just college. Like my finals were like extreme. Like, I mean, I was like struggling up to the last minute, so that the videos had to be put on standby for a little bit. Like, it was kind of a wake up call. Like, I don't know, next semester I gotta change something. I don't know what I did change something. I'm not gonna take online. I'm not gonna take as many online classes next semester because I hate online classes. They're just kind of there comes a point where they just kind of turn into overglorified podcasts, and it just, except like you actually have to pay a little more attention to them. It's very annoying. Like, I definitely prefer in person. Yeah, like COVID is bad if you are not familiar with that. But yeah, like this game. Oh yeah, so here, I mean, you could maybe ghost past these guys, but it's annoying. So instead, I'm just going to hold this guy hostage, shoot that guy with an electric bolt, and okay, this is the part right here. Like this part, it's very annoying because I kind of wait for a certain enemy to turn away and then I drop, but it's never really consistent. I don't know consistent strategy for dropping down this part unnoticed because like it's so annoying when I'm trying to do this in one go. Like I almost got caught there. Like it's such a split like second, like, you know, whether you're like fully alerted or you're not fully alerted. And the thing is, like, this only matters if you try and do like the whole ghost mastery thing, because I mean, like, once you get to this point, like, I mean, the level behind you locks, you know, like, the enemies can't follow you. The enemies can't hurt you once you're at this point. I mean, like, right now, at this point in the level, you're in a set piece. Like, it doesn't really matter if you got caught or not, like, in terms of gameplay reasons, but in terms of ranking reasons, well, here's what happens. So, you get rewarded points for sneaking past people undisturbed. However, if you, like, get to, like, this part of the level and, like, the enemy catches you, that bonus goes away completely. You don't even get, like, you don't even get a Panther ranking. You just get nothing. Oh, yeah, and here you can... if you like rush into a door, you just completely break it. And you kind of need that ability for this dumb action set piece. It's like, all right, we're just gonna run forward. There's no real gameplay here. Like, I don't know, Ubisoft loves doing this. Did it in Far Cry 3. It's like, yo, that's really impressive. All that stuff breaking apart. Oh my goodness, it looks just like Fast and Furious 5. Oh, I'm so excited. I love like this action movie like nonsense in my Splinter style. Like, I would much rather have a climax which is more like, you know, stealth based, and like this game has levels which have those type of climaxes, you know, where like your objective is to do something stealthily in like a big kind of mazy room, but nah, just kind of do that. Like, okay, all right, it's just like it's a big improvement over Conviction, but it still has some of those like, you know, little, how do I call them, little like stains from the past, or stains from like focus testing, I don't know.
Looks like our wire transfer's been received.
I think the reason why I find that ding sound so dumb is because it's a type of sound you'd hear in like a YouTube video. Like, I'm expecting to hear that type of noise like in a Spider-Man and Elsa video. Like, oh, that's a blast from the past. And you can actually slam the door at this point because there's no enemies. And there's really no reason to be all that theatrical. I think I was just really rushing through this level. And also, to get back to the flickering mouse problem, so what causes it if you're on Direct 11 is if you're playing on full screen. And okay, before I talk about that, I might as well talk about some strategy. So yeah, sliding on this pipe, kind of, you know, rush on like the right side of the level, go under this thing, and my issue from like previous Splinter Cell videos returns with OBS recordings make the game way darker than it actually is. And this game isn't as dark as the previous ones. Some of my previous Splinter Cell videos are just like straight up like unseeable. They're so dark. But just kind of rush through that entire thing and then climb on this pipe. There's going to be a guard there. I'm going to go for like a quick double takedown because there's two guards in this like corridor. And sometimes things will change. Sometimes the positions of the guard will be different. Like, I think I'm waiting for either that guard to look at a body or for this guard to kind of, you know, get a little closer to me so I can do an aerial takedown. But no, look, the guard looks at the body, then I rush this guy, take him out, and since that guy's looking at the body, he's not looking at me, so I can quickly run, boom, pam, the double tapper, and then we're back at this door. And also, you can kind of slam this door, run through, and your enemies will be undisturbed at this point. It's just kind of a funny little quirk about how this game works. And to be fair, you can kind of do the same thing in Chaos Theory, but Chaos Theory didn't have these little pop-up notifications like, ooh, 8 enemies undisturbed. So it's way funnier to do it in this game. Okay, so here it's kind of random how this works. I mean, you can kind of run to this part of like this level and then like wait here, a guard will come by, you can knock him out, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes the guard will go over to where the other guard is and start talking with them. Now the way I deal with that is I shoot like a gas arrow at them. So, you know, like this game, like it won't always have the same enemy placement. Sometimes they'll switch it up every now and then. You just kind of have to adapt. Like this game kind of has like 2, 3, maybe 4 presets for how enemies will be placed or enemies will react on a level. So it's never really going to be the same. You know, box of chocolates. I haven't seen Forrest Gump since I was like 7, so I don't really know how to move on from that. But yeah, so I'm just waiting for this guy to turn around so I can knock him out. But another thing is that, so yeah, on Direct 11, you'll have the flickering mouse issue if you're playing on full screen. This issue doesn't appear if you're playing on windowed or on borderless mode. However, I can't play on Windows or borderless because for some reason I can't change my resolution on windowless or borderless. So yeah, here we're just gonna go around this level. I mean, most of the guards won't see you until if I have a radar. There's 2 guards I need to deal with. There's one guard like over here. They're kind of watching the hostages. I'm going to take him out when he's not looking in my direction. There's going to be a guard over there. It's going to be very hard to actually get over to his position, so I'm just going to shoot him with electric arrow. And here I'm going to go over here. So like the reason I had to take out that other guard is, well, if I didn't, he'd notice me here. And to be fair, there is a way to ghost it, but it's annoying and I don't want to deal with it. This level, this level is difficult. This is actually one of my favorite levels in the game. I think it's just like you start off in a nice little Christmas area. Oh yeah, I mentioned, yeah, Christmas. You see that? You saw the part where I was running through that little red like area. Kind of like a Christmas mall of sorts. Like they were playing Christmas songs. So yeah, here he sees me, but I get enough of a time to kind of take him out right there. So yeah, just kind of go around this part of the level. This part of the level is like pretty difficult because like I'm not sure. Oh, no. They introduced the heavy like enemies before this level, and yeah, this game has some enemy variety. You know, you have like normal enemies. You have enemies that like control little like drones which go on the ground. Like they have a name like RC drones, AC drones, I don't know. Those little like robots which like kind of patrol the level. Like there's enemies which specifically control those. There's enemies which are heavy, which you can only take down from behind or above. So you know you can't just like run straight at them. You actually have to be sneaky with those guys. And you have dogs. I hate the dogs so much. Yeah, my strategy here is I'm going to wait for either the heavy guy to go away or for the guy in that corridor to go away. Because once that guy in the corridor goes away, I'm actually going to run straight at him, go into a different corridor where he's at, and then I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to hide his body, and then I'm going to wait for the heavy guard to kind of go by. Yeah, there we go. That guy in the corridor, he went, so I'm just going to run over here. He's going to be right over here, and I just knock him out like that. If I leave him here, the heavy guy gets upset, and I do not want the heavy guy to get upset. I want him to, you know, just kind of go by his patrol, you know, uninterrupted. So yeah, just kind of put him there. And you know, I mean, sometimes I can kind of like distract the heavy and make him go into this area so I can knock out the heavy, but sometimes that doesn't happen. He just like looks at the body, he kind of calls a bit of an alert to get people more like angsty, and it just kind of makes things easier. It kind of makes things harder, and it just kind of ruins my life. And oh, actually no, I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to throw a bit of smoke grenade so that I can just run straight to this thing, because I don't know, the heavy guy. I guess I wanted to speed things up. And now here we're going to go into a cutscene, and I mean it happened before in the second mission, but sometimes this game will give me the option to either kill or spare someone, and it has 0 impact. There's like 0 point for these things. There's no reason for it. I mean, yeah, this game has a non-lethal and lethal thing going on, but there's no like real thematic purpose to it. I mean, like, hell, your team kills a lot of people, like, you know, without your control. So it's like, it's arbitrary. It's just there because, oh, it's nice. I mean, like in Metal Gear Solid, there's kind of this theme of pacifism and all that. So, you know, you could kill people, you couldn't kill people, you know, because like killing people is bad or something. But this game doesn't really care about this distinction. I mean, look at the second mission. Like, it starts off with you and the fucking drone just sniping people, just fucking slaughtering this whole like patrol squad. The game doesn't care. Like, I mean, I guess that's like why that like sequence annoys me so much, is that like I'm usually in these stealth games, I guess I kind of lean more towards pacifism. But this game, like, it just kind of offers it as a little, yeah, you could do a pacifist run, but it doesn't really matter, you know, besides the scoring and all that. Just like, I mean, and it's also like probably the easiest thing to do. I mean, like, it's much easier to sneak in this game than it is to, you know, get into combat. I mean, look at this. I mean, the way you sneak in this part is just by like getting on top of this thing, and then you're good. However, sometimes when I get off this thing, the guy behind me, oh my goodness, I don't know what happened here. I think what happened here is that for some reason, no, I know what happened. So for some reason, some pop-up happened in the back of my computer, and then for some reason that pop-up made it that like my game just went full screen for a second. I went Windows for a second, just kind of screwed up my whole OBS thing. So I have to immediately go into settings, change it back to full screen, and now we're back. I mean, like if that happens, I sometimes just quit that run because like, oh my god, it's so unstylish. But you know, I just ran with it, and this is the run that like, you know, I actually did it in one go. I mean, I'm very happy with this run. So it's just like a small mistake I just had to deal with on the fly. I mean, it tends to happen with Splinter Cell and also recording PC games. So I just had to do it. But yeah, I think I was talking. Yeah, like I mean, just I don't know. In terms of the story, they don't really care if you kill people or not. I mean, Sam Fisher, like, you know, he can slaughter people, he can kill people. He's a Panther, you know, whatever. So I guess that's kind of why those like Call of Duty-esque moments just annoy the hell out of me. I don't know, just. There's a more elaborate way to put it, but I guess it's just that the game doesn't really care about its story. It's more focused on like gameplay design, but like the narrative features don't really gel well with that design. And yeah, so there's gonna be a guy guarding that place. Sometimes you'll be looking back, you know, watch out for that. And now here, I really shouldn't have taken out the drone, but you know, it works out for me in the end. I mean, this part's a little challenging because you don't really have that much cover to work with. I mean, you know, there's like enemies out of your reach and all that. And like, I mean, okay, the funny thing is, even if they notice your drone, you can still sneak past them and it'll still count as like a ghost thing. So, you know, as long as they're not focused on you, but on the drone, then you're okay. So you can actually use the drone to distract enemies, put them like, you know, make them all like trigger like happy. But if they don't see you, you're good. It's really overpowered. But I'm going to use it because it's fun, I think. And, oh, okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell if an enemy's looking at you or not, but I have the radar, so I guess that makes it easier. Like this part right here, it's kind of hard to judge if you can get past this part or not without them seeing you. You goes like, are they there? Are they not there? Like, oh, you know, I mean, it's a little tense, but it's also like a little limited. It's like, But yeah, like, I mean, on borderless or on Windows, I can't change the resolution. And the thing is, I can't have the resolution too high, because if it's too high, OBS does not record a smooth 60 FPS. And to be fair, I guess for these first 3 missions, the FPS isn't like 100% smooth, but it's pretty smooth, I'd say. So yeah, like on higher resolution, like my computer has like a read resolution where it could do 2880, but no game I have runs smoothly or can be recorded. Oh, I had a little hiccup there. No game can really be recorded smoothly at like that resolution, so it pisses me off. It's at my max resolution, but nothing I play can run or be recorded at that resolution. It's annoying. And I can't do 1920 by 1080. I always have to do like 1650 by 1080. It's just like, it's so irritating. But it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with since I'm too lazy to get a PC. I mean, I got my PS5. I can play more games there for like high definition or whatever. But you know, whatever. So yeah, I can't do borderless. I can't do Windows, but I can do Direct 9, and that kind of solves everything. But you know, I mentioned before with Direct 9 that, oh yeah, so in that room there were like 2 guards. So I just kind of took them out because I just didn't want to deal with the hassle of ghosting past them. And now here's the big set piece of the level, and I was so scared that I was gonna fail this because, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to like retry checkpoints, or at the very least, I mean, I'll do it later. I'll tell you when I do it, but for the most part, I'll try to do these levels in one run. Just kind of because I thought that'd be cool to do for the first couple levels, you know, have some a little bit of integrity before I start cheesing the game. The cheese will come later, don't worry about it. But yeah, here just kind of run straight to this thing, you know, get this thing. And, you know, I mean, it can be a bit random whether that heavy guard's guarding it immediately or not, but I guess I got really lucky and he was facing away. It's a very tense thing. I really like this objective because it's just like, you know, you have 2 things across the map. You have a bunch of enemies around, and you have this one target you have to kind of disable, and there's an enemy guarding it, so it's just like, it's tense, it's cool, and also like to get to the other side of the map, you go to this little crawly hole. I think it's a really good way to end the mission. I mean, it's much better than ending it on like a dumb chase sequence. This feels more in line with Splinter Cell. Very nice, very cool. And also you have some room to maneuver with. And I mean, I guess like one thing which kind of made this game not that popular is, oh, okay, what came first, Metal Gear Solid 5 or this game? I don't know, Metal Gear Solid 5 had like these type of objectives, but more better. I have made a video on Metal Gear Solid 5 if you want to see that. I S rank every single mission, but that video is also much longer than this one. And I will say, this video is very short. Like, I don't know, I mean, I was not expecting this to be my shortest Splinter Cell game. I remember Blacklist being a long game, but I guess when you skip all the cutscenes and I kind of, you know, play very fast and loose, it's a very short game. But though, to be fair, I've only done the main missions. There's still like 9 other, like, you know, optional missions. Hell, 12 other missions. So if I did all those missions combined with the main missions, this could be the longest Splinter Cell game. So, but I didn't. I kind of want to release this video on time. I kind of wanted to, you know, be done with the game. I mean, if I wanted to do the optional missions, I'll maybe do them in another video, you know, some other time. But yeah, I didn't exactly want to do those action-packed missions because, like, the only like optional missions I've done are the Grim missions, because, you know, you need, in order to get the best stealth suit in the game, you need to do the Grim mission. So I felt obligated to kind of, you know, do those missions. And also, like, they're more geared to like the type of playstyle I like to, you know, go towards. You know, like fully stealth, never get caught, and also do it in one run. I don't know if I mentioned it in a previous Splinter Cell video, but like I played those missions with a friend on like the Xbox 360, and like I was horrible at them. They were like so hard. It took us so many different attempts. There was one point where I got to like the final part of a level, and then I failed because I got caught by one guard, and my friend just left. He just left the house. He just walked 30 miles back home. It was like I fucked up so bad on that mission. But replaying these missions, they are not that hard. Like, I mean, they took a couple attempts. Don't get me wrong. They're probably some of the hardest challenges in the game, just because you don't get any checkpoints, and that was such a clutch moment. Like, I mean, it's like the final part of the level. He almost caught me, then boom, we're ending the mission like that. Like, it's so tense. This mission, I love it. Like, I mean, this part right here, it's great. And also, you're on a time limit. It's like, oh my goodness, you gotta go here, gotta go there. Like, yo, let's go. To be fair, I think the reason the missions were easier this time around is that I tackled them after I got like the most stealthy gear, you know, before I could get the fully stealthy suit. So I was more prepared to kind of run past enemies, and also I had a better understanding of the game, and you know, so and so, yada 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 yada. But yeah, that was fun. I mean, I don't know. The first time I played this game was on the Wii U. I had a Wii U and I got this game. You know, I played on the gamepad. It was fun. But then I got the 360 version and I played on there. And now I have it on PC. And, well, the most annoying thing about the PC version is just I have to use Ubisoft Connect. Like, it's 2021. I don't want to use Ubisoft Connect. What's wrong with you? Like, the online services I don't even think work. So it's like, you know, what's going on here? Like, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. Like, I bought it on Steam, but I have to use another service. Like, come on.
Wire transfer received.
Oh, I just noticed that my Ubisoft name, Happy Dragon 64, is fully visible. Like, I was a much younger kid. It was a different time. Like, I mean, 64 sounded cool to me. Yeah, here's another cool level. I just like it because, you know, you're invading, like, this house. I don't know, just, like, house invasion, I think it's just a really cool environment for a level. Is it the best level ever? I mean, it's a short level. I mean, I don't think that's bad, but, you know, like, it's a little shorter than the other ones. And I decided to bring back the classic green look. I can't scream too much, the throat thing. Though, to be fair, I mean, I recorded my like first recording of this commentary at like what, 3 a.m. and now it's not 3 a.m. it's 3 p.m. and I think my voice has healed a bit, so that's nice. So yeah, here like this part is so annoying. Like, I mean, I don't know, sometimes a dog will catch me, sometimes the other enemies will get on alert. Like, it's just this is a hassle of a level to deal with, like this part in particular, because it's just like it just has so many random elements. Like, it's just sometimes you can deal with it, sometimes you can't deal with it. Sometimes like you'll run past enemies, they won't catch you. Sometimes you'll run past them, they will catch you. It's just like, I hate it. But yeah, here once you get to this point, we're going to get to an unskippable cutscene, which is actually rare for this game. I mean, you know, I don't mind it since like every other cutscene's skippable. You know what I mean? The 1 or 2 non-skippable cutscenes. Okay, here's the thing that annoys me sometimes. You know, if you alert enemies too much, instead of getting 2 hostiles undisturbed, you'll get 2 hostiles evaded. Whoa. Uh-oh, might be the return of the throat virus, but whatever. Like, I don't know, when you get 2 hostiles evaded, you just know you failed. You're not going to get that ghost mastery. It's just like, you just get so sad about it. Like, I got sad about it. I was like, aw, come on. Alright, so let me get back to that thing I was talking about. So yeah, with Direct 9, so you can't alt-tab out of the game. So it's like, alright, that's just something I have to deal with. I'm not going to alt-tab out of the game. However, an old nemesis from my previous Splinter Cell video came back to haunt me. Sticky keys. Who likes sticky keys? I don't even know what they are, but if you press shift way too many times, you get kicked out of your game with a pop-up that says, hey, do you want to turn on sticky keys? Like, no. So I got kicked out of my game, out of my own, you know, like without my control, and now I can't get back into the game because the game just won't start up again since it's on Direct 9 for some reason. They just don't like doing that. So yeah, here I run up, I take out that guard, and now this part's a little tricky, I guess. I have to get to the other side of the place. I think I'm going to do it by taking out guards. Oh yeah, I'm going to do some shooting here. Like, I'll take out that guy way over there. I almost met this. Oh, this is ridiculous. Like, I was just like, I mean, I have enough ammo to kind of mess up, but like that, I shouldn't be doing that. Other enemies could get curious at that point. But yeah, like, did I ever mention why I hate the dogs? I think I just mention it every now and then, and I never elaborate. Like, okay, the reason I hate the dogs is because, well, I mean, just like in the first Splinter Cell, they can just smell you. Like, I don't know, they have like a boss fight move set. Instead of just being like a normal enemy which works on like vision or like sight and sound, they just work on smell. So like once you're in the area, they can smell you and they are already suspicious. And once they're suspicious, other enemies start getting suspicious and you're just in their area. Like, it's like you're fighting a boss fight, but you're also surrounded by a bunch of other like normal enemies. I hate it. Like, I don't know, like, they're so clairvoyant, and it's just like they're not fun to deal with. You have to like predict their movements. You can't react to their movements because by the time you're reacting to them, they're already on full alert. And it's just like, that's not fun. Don't put dog enemies into your game. I appreciate the enemy variety, but I do not appreciate dogs. Like they react the same way the skulls react in Metal Gear Solid 5, but in Metal Gear Solid 5 they're a boss fight. You know, they're like a main encounter. This isn't like dogs shouldn't be a boss fight today. I hate. I mean, is it realistic to how they work in real life? No, dogs are stupid. Dogs are not that smart. I mean, even if they're trained, they're not that smart. I love dogs, but dogs don't work like this. They don't work like this. So yeah, so here, there's a little bit of wiggle room sometimes. Sometimes you'll fail doing this. But yeah, run out, knock that guy out. Try to climb this pipe. Oh, not that pipe. You have to run up here, climb the pipe. And sometimes you just get caught. I don't know, because maybe an enemy's looking in the wrong direction for a little too long. You know, it happens. It's annoying. It's like, Then you slide down here and you're in the house. So that kind of skips a lot of the headache of trying to sneak past a lot of enemies. So it's like, all right, cool. But yeah, sticky keys was so annoying because I was doing like a perfect run, then sticky keys like, you know, interrupted me and then I had to restart the entire level. I hated it. And it's just like, I don't know how to turn off the notification for sticky keys. I don't even know what sticky keys are. It's like, I hate it. So yeah, here, like, you know, you pretty much climb up that part of like the wall, the house. Then you kind of wait out here until this guy's not looking at you. So you can kind of, you know, continue climbing through here. And this does feel more like a Splinter Cell level. I mean, you've hijacked houses before. I mean, Pandora Tomorrow kind of started out like that. Dude, I guess in Pandora Tomorrow the house was burning and it wasn't really their house, blah blah blah, and something like that. This is more like a more calm level. I mean, it feels very ominous. It has a really great atmosphere, I think. So you kind of climb up to this part, you get up to here, you walk slowly as to not trip the wire, and then here you can actually like breach this section without knocking that guy out, and it'll count as undisturbed even though you're right next to him. But I decided to take him out, and now here we enter an action segment. And when you're in the action segment, just kind of climb over here, kind of, you know, skimmy your way on over here, and then throw a gas grenade, I believe. Yep, gas grenade. That should take them all out. And then drop down here. You're going to throw out another gas grenade at the door over here. And then that should be able to take out most people. And then is it everyone? I hope it took out everyone. And then once you do that, the thing's over. Like, that whole combat encounter is just done and over with, and now you have to follow this guy to his destination. However, there was one point where I completed this mission and he never went to this place. He just stood still at his hiding location. I had to restart the checkpoint just to get this guy to move again. I mean, I restarted the whole mission just to get this guy to move again, but it's just like they freeze up sometimes. It's so annoying because you can do everything perfectly, but if they freeze up, you're just screwed. You can't do anything about that. Like, come on, man. Like, I hate that. It's a worst thing that could happen to you in a mission. It's like, come on, man. Don't do me like this. Like, I mean, I did everything correctly. Oh yeah, so here, this game doesn't have too many of these, but sometimes it will have these walkie-talkie sections. You know, I hate that. I don't like these walkie-talkie sections. I like to be in the gameplay, you know, 100% of the time. You know, come on, get me in the gameplay or give me a cutscene I can skip. Don't give me this. I don't like this. Is it immersive? No, it's annoying. Get it out of my face. I don't like it. But now we're done here. Okay, so like these sections where you like have a hostage and you're like kind of forced to like be limited in your stuff. I don't like this. Like, it just kind of feels too limited. It feels too like gimmicky. But you know, this is kind of easy. I think you kind of like run to the left most of the time, and then comes a point we kind of skirt across the middle to the right, and then there comes a point where you have to hide behind an enemy. And oh yeah, so here's another. Remember, like in the first like real mission of this game, where if you're fully stealthy, you don't have to deal with any action encounter. This is the exact same way. If you're fully stealthy, you can just get on the boat, and then the mission ends. And I really like that. I like when the game does this. It's really nice. I believe this is the part where I'm hiding from an enemy. And yeah, I don't really have that much to say about this section. I mean, it's kind of over. I mean, once you get past this one guard, I mean, you could take out the enemies, but I'm just kind of playing it safe. I mean, TGP's strategy is really good for ghosting this section, so I'm just gonna follow it. It's really nice. And yeah, I don't really have that much more to say about this level. Maybe I'll continue talking once like something interesting happens.
I see an SUV of hostiles inbound, Sam. Get to the dock quick.
Copy. Ah! I won.
like our wire transfer's been received.
I hate this level. This level is so annoying. It's not because it's really a bad level. It's just that, like, for the ghost mastery in specific, I hate it so much. The strategy here is just run past this section, then kind of run to the right. The dog most of the time won't see you. In fact, they should never really see you. I mean, there's like a few times where I got really unlucky with the sniper, and the sniper saw me. Yeah, run up, climb up this pipe, and then you climb up from there. But like, I hate this level specifically for the ghost mastery stuff you have to do for it, because it's just like every other level in this game, or at least most of the other level. Okay, I just sometimes like this game's like controls, like contextual controls, are a little awkward because you'll sometimes just jump off things when you don't want to jump off things. So to be fair, this game is also weirdly handholdy, because sometimes, oh yeah, also this level starts off with Briggs just killing someone, just sniping their head off. So yeah, even if you go for a non-lethal run, you know in the story, yeah, they'll just kill whenever they want to. It's like, okay. But yeah, like just like for every other level doing ghost mastery, I mean, you could knock out a lot of people and like get, you know, you could leave some people undisturbed, but you know, you could get some you could get some like combat knockouts, but you know, you'll still get that ghost mastery. But here, no, you have to be like very careful. You have to ghost as many people as possible. You have to knock out a lot of people. You just have to, like, you know, you have to be very, very good at what you're doing. Yeah, by the way, the strategy here is just kind of, you know, run to the left, and just that most of the time that guy won't see you. And there are some times, some very rare times, where like the sniper will see me, and you know, that was very annoying. But yeah, then once you're past this point, it's kind of, you know, it's pretty easy, though sometimes it's not easy. Okay, there's one complication in like this part right here. So, oh, not this part, but a part that's coming up. So you just kind of run here, run to the left. I mean, the enemy there probably won't see you. I mean, okay, at this point I take it slow, because I don't know, most of the times which I rush here, that guy looks at me and I don't like it when he looks at me. Now the complication here is the guy downstairs. Sometimes he won't be staring at you, but sometimes he will be staring at you. Like, I mean, I just ran past that point, but sometimes I can't do that because the enemy will be like right in my face. And it's just like, oh, come on, man. But, you know, whatever. Like, I mean, he was not right in my face, so that's very nice. So yeah, here's a walkie-talkie section, which I don't like. It's like, oh, come on, man. But yeah, like this level is so annoying to do ghost mastery in, because it's like, you know, I did it like perfectly, but I think I messed up like one specific part, and that one specific part is such bullshit to mess up. I mean, it shouldn't even exist, that part, frankly. It should have been a cutscene or something. Maybe not. Maybe I'm being harsh on that part. I'll talk about that part when we get to that part. Now I'm going to talk about something completely unrelated. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm actually going to continue talking about strategy. So, okay, I think I've reached the point of the video where I'm more familiar with the levels, because they're like later in the game, and they're also like, you know, more complicated than some of the previous levels. So yeah, you climb up that window, you run through that room to this window, and then from that window you're gonna go to this window. Wait, no. Yeah, you're going to go to this window. Once you're in this window, you're going to run to that window. And most of the time, the enemies won't see you. They're talking about football or whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, most of the time, the enemies won't see you when you're running past those things. But there was like one or two times where they did see me, which was kind of sad. I mean, like, this strategy is really good, but it's also hard to memorize because you're just jumping from windows to window. Like, this place is pretty open-ended. It's kind of hard to memorize, like, you know, which window you have to go to and which place you have to run to. I mean, it's very easy to mess up. And I messed it up a couple times. But yeah, my strategy is just kind of like, I drop off at that point, run at this point. Sometimes the enemy will see me. Sometimes they won. I'm gonna keep repeating that in this video because it's inconsistent. It just, you know, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not, and it's just like, ah, come on. So yeah, this part right here, oh my goodness. So look, I mean, in previous runs I'd just knock out everyone I saw, but to be fair, yeah, like in previous runs I just knock out everyone I saw, but now I'm gonna be a little bit more careful and like try to ghost some more people. Though I'm still gonna knock out a lot of people because doing like the full ghost thing is just not fun. Like, I'm gonna knock out these guys over here. Like, yeah, you're gone, but the other people I'm gonna try to avoid. At least that's what I think I'm gonna do. And the way I'm gonna try to avoid them is by going over here, getting a smoke grenade, and then just throwing it there. Okay, so smoke grenades. So the smoke grenades in this game are really useful, but there is a way to use them incorrectly. There are times where using a smoke grenade will just alert people like way hard. They'll go into like full, like they want to kill you mode. Sometimes if you use a smoke grenade wrong, like, I mean, there are times where you use a smoke grenade and then like instead of like leaving hostiles undisturbed, you'll leave them like evaded. But you know, if you use it correctly, you can actually, you know, kind of shake them up, but still leave them undisturbed. And, you know, you have to be careful with it. Now here, this section is really easy if you know which path to take. Just kind of keep climbing around here, and once you get to, let me see here. This point, do not go on the right side, go on the left side, because on the right side there's a camera and you just don't want to deal with that camera. But yeah, from here it should be pretty easy. I mean, there's no real reason to deal with the enemies down below, though you could, and it's not that hard because there really aren't that many guards. But since we're kind of like this far into the level, you don't want to really mess up anything here, so just kind of take the easy path, for example. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, like this level is just annoying. Like, but besides that, I really love smoke grenades in like stealth games because most of the time, this is like you throw one and you can just run past enemies undisturbed or just give you an easier way to knock them out. I just really love it. So yeah, here for this truck part, sometimes all the enemies will be facing away like straight from the start, so you just kind of dropped off the truck immediately. But then there's other times you have to kind of wait for them to look away and then do that. To be fair, I'm pretty sure you can just drop off whenever you want, just immediately click that space button and you're good because you get into that truck immediately quickly. Like it's just like, it's a little way too quick. And now from here, the strategy is kind of run to this part, get to this truck. Do not pass this truck. You do not want to alert the enemy that's on the other side there, to even make him curious. Because if you make the enemy curious, he's going to start walking towards you. And once he's like looks away from you, run to this vent that's right there. And sometimes there's been like 1 or 2 times, it's not that frequent, where an enemy will catch me doing this. But most of the time, you're good to go. You just kind of crawl that vent, kind of exit out this vent hole, and then you wait for a certain enemy to turn away at this point. And also I guess I'm getting the tri-rotor ready for the next section of the run. I forgot what I used the tri-rotor for. I don't remember using it for anything important, but I guess I will use it for something important. But yeah, pretty much run past that part there, and now we are in oh no.
That's right where you're headed. Sam, Brim, the truck is rolling out.
There really isn't much strategy here. I'm just gonna run up, I'm gonna knock this guy out, and then I'm going to run up again. I'm going to knock the person out over here, and then after that I'm going to wait for this the heavy guy to look away. I don't need to knock out the heavy guy. I can leave him undisturbed.
Sam, I'm watching your vitals here. You're not looking so hot, man. Just give the word and I'll move in.
Negative. I need you covering my exit. I'm not the priority, Sadiq is.
Oh, now I remember why I wanted to use the drone. It's because of these dogs. So I'll get on this like pipe here. I'll like use the drone, and here's the thing about the drone. If the dogs catch you using the drone, and you try to knock them out afterwards, it's gonna count as a combat knockout, even though that never happens in any other part of the game because, well, they're dogs. I mean, once they know that you have a drone, they smell you and they now know you're there. There's a way to kind of ghost the dogs. You kind of climb the pipes for a bit, and then you get off the pipes and you run straight to the stairs, and you know, sometimes that should be able to get you enemies like undisturbed, but most of the time when I did it, it was just, oh, enemies evaded. It was so annoying. So I needed to take them out, but you need to take them out quickly and discreetly, because if you take them out a little too loud, then it counts as a combat knockout. It's like, I hate those dogs in this game, man. And now I'm going to talk about something completely unrelated. So there was a time where this game crashed, and the second the game crashed, my mom called me. And it was just like perfect timing. It was like the perfect time to talk to my mom, because it was like I was so tired of playing the game. The game crashed. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, let's stop this. I need to take a break. So that was really well timed. This section right here, I despise it, because it's like there's a strategy to kind of ghost everyone, but it's not consistent, because sometimes enemy patterns will change, sometimes they'll be in a different place, and like if they change and you're not prepared for it, you can't really react to it, because it's like, you know, you walk at the speed of molasses because you're all drugged out. You know, you took like what, 2 beers or something? Like, come on, man. And like, I don't know, like, it's weird. Like, I don't know how the game ranks you, like, avoiding all these enemies. Like, I mean, you know, you never get damaged at the very least, so that's cool. But the problem is that, like, okay, if you avoid every single enemy and make it to your destination, I don't know if the game gives you, like, an undisturbed bonus. I don't know. The game never tells you. But if you get caught, I don't know if the game takes away the bonus. I don't know if, like, you get less points for getting caught. I don't know. But you know what is, like, known? If I get a couple knockouts in there, those are definitive points. That's true, right? So I decided, you know what, this time I'm going to knock out some people just to get some extra points so I can finally get that Ghost Mastery. And you know what? It worked, but I'm annoyed that I had to, like, spend so much time doing that in waiting in uncertainty, because it's like this game like catalogs so much stuff, but like this thing doesn't get cataloged. I don't know like how this affects the rest of my ranking. Like, come on, dude. It's just it's so annoying. So you know, I'm gonna knock out everyone, and that's just how I'm gonna deal with it. And it worked for me, so it should be able to work for you. This is how you get Ghost Mastery. But it's like, I'm telling you, it's irritating, it's annoying, it's inconsistent, and you can't really like manage your way around it. It's just like like their sight lines are a little unknown. I don't know if they're gonna be alerted. I don't know if they're not gonna be alerted. It's just like, I despise this so much. And also the red color, certain enemies later in the level will have that same red color, and I like that quite a bit. So yeah, look, we're done with that. We knocked out a couple people, which kind of guarantees our it doesn't guarantee it, because Oh, look at that, the dumbass sound again. I'm not watching like a Spider-Man and Elsa video. I'm playing Splinter Cell Blacklist, a military shooter. Why is that sound here? And you're gonna notice something. Wait, yeah, you're gonna notice. No, not now. You're gonna notice something very soon. So there we go. We're gonna have this big cinematic thing, very dynamic, very nice. All right, cool. All right, here we go. So 3, 2, 1, reload checkpoint. Now the reason I reloaded that checkpoint is because I did everything perfectly. You know, I knocked out people, I got some good stealth points, and at the very end of the level, Briggs stands there not moving at all. It was so irritating. I was like, ah! Because I did everything perfectly. It would have been a perfectly, you know, like one take, one go, like, you know, like no retries level. But you know what? He just had to stand still, not get to the exit. So, you know, I was like, all right, I'm just going to restart the checkpoint, you know, just to get this over with. And I restarted the checkpoint, and that was the attempt that gave me Ghost Mastery. Like, I was struggling so hard to get Ghost Mastery on this level. Like, okay, the attempt where I reload a checkpoint's the one where I get Ghost Mastery. Like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna take it. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this again. I'm so annoyed with this level. I don't want to think about this level. So, all right, the major thing you want to do here is you want to take out like what? Like, there's like 4 enemies in this room. You want to take out 3 of them, and then once you take out 3 of them, you're gonna flip around to like this side of the room because there's gonna go a point where like more recruits come in, and then when those like extra recruits come in, you start taking them out too. Oh yeah, also another fun thing is that if you reload a checkpoint, you get extra ammo in your little like electric taser. You start this level off with having like no ammo in your taser, but if you reload that checkpoint, you have extra ammo, so you don't have to deal with like, you know, actually moving around this location. You can just reload the checkpoint, you have extra ammo, and then you can just kind of shoot everyone from like pipes, from climbing upstairs, and it just makes things a lot easier. But yeah, like for that first wave of enemies, take them out, but then kind of hide from the second wave of enemies that appear. Like, I mean, if you're like in the vision cones of the second wave of enemies that appear, then you're kind of screwed. Also, try to take these guys out as like fast as possible, and try to like get as many takeouts, and don't try to like Briggs take people out, because if Briggs takes someone out, like, you know, that's less points for you. You want to acquire as many like ghost points as possible to get the Ghost Mastery. You do not want to leave anything to chance. Like I'm telling you, Briggs did not do this. Like when I was playing this level, he just stopped. He didn't get to that point. I was so So, I mean, I'm glad I'm done with this level, but it sucks. I hate it. I mean, it's a good level, but it's just it's so demanding with the ghost stuff. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, this game isn't that demanding with the ghosting, because like, a true ghost path would require you to, you know, actually ghost the enemies, not just take them out. I mean, the ghost ranking in this like video game is more like a pacifist ranking, but you know what? I'm pissed. I'm tired. I hate that level. It's just like, it's so annoying. I hate it.
More money in the bank.
Alright, so here the levels start to become a little bit more complicated. I mean, to be fair, that kind of started with the previous level, because the previous level was pretty demanding in terms of a bunch of stuff you have to do. I mean, you know, you start off with like a whole stealth stuff thing with the snipers, and then you have to like sneak past some dudes talking about soccer ball. I mean, like, the previous level was pretty complicated, but this one makes it kind of brings up the complexity quite a bit, and also the demandingness of the levels, because you start getting put into more intense situations. I mean, you start off here, this isn't too bad. In fact, I mean, once you know a good path to take, and funny thing, so you can kind of like, you know, get up to this point, you know, kind of like put your back against the wall, but there's no reason to do it. You can just kind of continue climbing like this, like I don't know how to describe it. You can continue doing this without needing to like climb up and put your back against the wall. There's like literally zero reason to put your back against the wall except for those exploration points, which is kind of like, why give me exploration points for doing that but nothing else? And also just kind of drop off there, run past this point. I mean, what, you know, watch out that the guard is looking the other way, then run past him, and then run all the way over here, put your back against this wall because there's going to be a guard there, but the guard will probably, by the time you're here, the guard probably would have walked over there, wait for the camera to get away, and then you just kind of get here. So this part right here, it's easy, but it's inconsistent. Sometimes enemies will be looking at you, sometimes they won't be, and there's always going to be like this weird indicator that always fills up. Like, this is one thing I don't like with the indicator. Like, I mean, it's like the AI in this game is like programmed a little bit more smartly in some other games, because some other games enemies kind of have like front facing view, but this game has like sight lines, like has like a weird like mini sight lines for like enemies like behind their back and all that. Like they have like this programmed AI to sense if someone's behind them. And like sometimes if you're like in a diagonal view of someone, they'll their detection meter will fill up but slower. I mean, it's a really neat thing, but It just means that if you're in like any like proximity close to an enemy and you try to walk past them, like that detection meter is going to fill up, like, you know, it's gonna fill up a little slightly, but it's very like stressful. It's like, you know, like, cause like sometimes it doesn't fill up, sometimes it does fill up, and it just depends on if an enemy, like, you know, turns their head to the left or right. Sometimes like But yeah, I mean, you get past this point, you know, like, you know, remain undetected, but, you know, take the right path and you will remain undetected. But now we're going to talk about something else. So this game's story, I don't care much for it. I'm just going to be frank. And to be fair, I never really cared much for any of the stories in the Splinter Cell games. Like, the only thing that's really kept those games rolling for me is just the character, like, charisma, the character relationships. And even those aren't really given that much screen time because they're mostly relegated to just radio calls in the previous games. I mean, some of the games got more dramatic with their stories. I have not played Double Agent yet, but Conviction, that game got more dramatic. I did not like it. This game definitely gets more dramatic. There's a lot more cutscenes. There's a lot more going on. There's like a stronger cohesion. Oh, this section right here. Alright, so I'm going to just straight up restart the last checkpoint in real time because, well, something weird happens when you enter this part of the game normally. You'll climb up to these pipes. You'll wait out here, but for some reason, like when you start the game normally, they will never, like, you know, become calm. But if you restart the checkpoint and do the same exact thing, they will become calm eventually, and I don't know why that is. But like, it's just consistently happened to me so much that like, if the enemies are not calm and you knock them out, it'll just be a combat knockout. But I need stealth knockouts. But if I just play the game normally and do it in one go, it will never be a stealth knockout. At least I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it was never a stealth knockout for me. So instead, I have to restart the checkpoint to actually make the enemies calm enough so that it'll be a stealth knockout. And here you have to be kind of quick with the arrows and also have to be smart with the arrows. I mean, start off, knock the guy out with like a little aerial takedown, then climb the pipe, shoot the one guy there with a gas arrow, shoot a couple guys here with gas arrows, but be careful because if you shoot a wrong gas arrow, if you don't take someone out immediately with a gas arrow, they'll become immediately like aware of your presence and they'll shoot you down from the pipes. You know, like you're not completely invincible on the pipes, but the pipes are still like one of your best options yet. And once you've taken everyone out here, well, now you got these enemies. You got like two enemies. There's going to be one enemy who's going to come past this door. And then the other enemy is a little inconsistent with their behavior. Sometimes they'll pop out there. Sometimes they'll pop out below. And it's just, you kind of have to like, you know, react to whatever they do. And now the reason I'm taking everyone out instead of ghosting past them is because, well, I don't know if it's possible to ghost past them, but even if you like ghost past these enemies, I think it'll count as like, you know, enemies evaded. It won't count as enemies undisturbed. So you'll actually get more points for taking every single enemy out in this level, like, you know, with those stealth knockouts, instead of just ghosting them. So, you know, for like the ghost mastery, like, you know, rank at the end of the level, you're best off knocking every single person out in that room stealthily, of course, which will require you to restart a checkpoint. I mean, I feel like it's possible to get those stealth knockouts without retrying a checkpoint, but my game was just being weird, so I just did that, and it just made things easier for me. But, you know, I'm not, it's hard enough, like, trying to, like, do these levels without taking damage and being kind of sneaking into ghost mastery, so I'm gonna take what I can get. But yeah, like, I did not like the story in Conviction. It felt really try-hard. Like, I don't know. Like, Splinter Cell Conviction and Hitman Absolution are, like, two games which kind of have very similar, kind of the same tones, and I don't like either of those games' stories or characters. Like, it's just, I do not like that style of game. It just feels so obnoxious. It feels like fake Tarantino, fake whatever, fake... I don't know what to call it. It's obnoxious. It's annoying. I don't like it. Anyways, there's two guards here. Gas grenade. Take them out both at the same time. Very nice. And also, I hope you noticed that I climbed some vents. I climbed some pipes. And also, I'm going to carry this guard's body. And then once I get to this elevator, boom, immediate drop off. Like, I mean, the game just did that for me. It's really funny. And then here I'm going to position myself to be in a very funny position for the camera. Very nice. So yeah. Now we get to Blacklist, and like this game has the most conventionally like good story. Like, I don't know, it makes the most sense out of the rest of the games in the sense that like it's presented in the most reasonable fashion. You know, you have a lot of cutscenes. You can kind of like get a sense for what's going on. You're like, oh, you have this mission. Oh, there's bad guys. Oh, the bad guy is actually like somewhat intimidating. Well, that's the thing. The bad guys in the previous Splinter Cell games weren't really like strong figures or focus of whatever. You know, like the first Splinter Cell had some Russian guy. You know, you don't really care much for him. The second Splinter Cell game had like some guy. You know, oh, he's gonna release a virus. I mean, oh, okay, who cares? I mean, okay, to be fair, the second Splinter Cell game deserves some credit because, like, you actually get to have a pretty cool confrontation with the bad guy. When you take him, like, hostage in a TV station, like, that is such a cool way to, like, end, like, that whole, like, villainous relationship. That's really good. I mean, okay, so Pandora Tomorrow does a better job with its villain than, like, the first Splinter Cell, but nothing great. The Chaos Theory kind of has the whole personal relationship with, like, Michael Douglas. Like, all right, cool, but it's not, like, I mean, it has that cool standoff. I mean, it's kind of Kino, but not that keen on, to be frank. Double Agent, didn't play it, don't know. Conviction has a really lame-ass bad guy. You know, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, wham, 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 wham. I don't care. I don't care. So yeah, here I'm going to leave some sticky shockers there, and also going to leave a body there, just to kind of distract the enemies, which will appear once, like, you know, things really start to go down in this level. And now we're here at Blacklist, and we have... Oh, was I going to say Coben? I was going to say Coben. So Coben's a weird one in this game because, like, he killed a child in, like, Double Agent and Conviction, to my knowledge. But now he's just, like, a funny guy. He's like, hey, I'm part of the team now. Like, what the fuck? You're a child murderer. What the fuck? Well, I don't want to be friends with you. So here I'm just kind of taking everyone out, you know, like, being very sneaky, very, very fast, smooth. Let me continue complaining about Splinter Cell for a second. But now, I forgot the name of the bad guy in Blacklist. Bald British man. So, yeah, this guy's cool. Just because, for one, his performance is really good. Whoever, like, voice acts the villain in this game, he does a really great job. He has a really, like, smooth, like, intimidating voice. You know, it's a really great performance, I'd say. So that alone sets him apart. He also is a bit threatening. You know, he knows how to use your, like, special knife you have in this game, your karambit or whatever. How the hell you say it? However, I don't know what type of knife Splinter, like, Sam Fisher has in this game. It's a karambit, a karaba. I don't know how to pronounce that, but the villain knows how to use it. What? That's insane. You know, like, there's more, like, back and forth between Sam Fisher and the villain in this game. Like, it's not great. I mean, you can maybe even say it's not even all that good, but, like, you know, it has a nice, like, you know, professionalism to it. You know, it's a little more cinematic. It's cool. I like the villain in this game. You know, like, he's not great, but, like, I think his performance alone sets him apart. Did you see that? You know, like, I thought I would make a video called Splinter Cell Blacklist Funny Moments, and I would include that moment in that video because I didn't think it would happen again, but it keeps happening. He just freaking ragdolls across the entire room for no reason. It's like, wow, how does that happen? And I'm very glad it kept happening so I could include it in my no damage video. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, you have, like, a team, and, like, unlike the previous games, you actually get to see your team, like, physically for a majority of the game. You have Charlie, who's just, like, a funny hacker guy. You know, like, oh, I'm hacking the firewall. Then you have, like, Briggs, who's like, oh, in English, please. And then, like, you have Sam Fisher, who says, they're fucking our pussies. You know, you have, like, a more, like, understandable group of, like, team to rely on. They're a bit cliche, but, you know, like, they're not all that bad. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about something else for a moment. So yeah, those sticky shockers I put in there, they distract the enemies a bit. They might actually shock some enemies. Oh yeah, see, they shock some enemies there. Then I'm gonna throw a gas grenade there, and then, like, the only person who's, like, available, who's, like, still there is, like, the heavy person. And then, like, I'll just climb up there, do an aerial takedown, and then boom, like, the people who are gonna, like, assault me or ambush me are all taken out. So I have, like, multiple strategies on how to tackle this location, and they were all, like, weird. I'm gonna try to teabag someone, but I just, like, you know, this isn't Halo, so it's very weird. And he also, like, looks a little janky, just jumping up and down. Look at this guy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But like, I don't know, the strategies for this, like, section of the level are all very weird and, like, spontaneous, because I don't know, sometimes I'll exit this level and, like, those people, like, immediately ambush this section, and sometimes I'll, like, stay, like, hidden, like, you know, hanging on the pipes downstairs, and they never enter the level. They just stay behind those glass doors, and it makes it very hard to ambush them. So I just kind of came up with this, my own ambush, where I would just immediately run up to them, you know, do some sticky shockers, and then do, like, some proximity shockers, do some gas grenades, do some gas arrows, and then take out the guy with the aerial knockout, and then boom, there we go, we're done. And it works. And now I'm just waiting for this little CD drive to kind of, you know, be done. Ow. So back to complaining about Blacklist. Okay, so it's a very standard whatever story. I guess, like, one complaint about I have about this game's story is that it feels more Call of Duty than it feels Splinter Cell. And I think it's a weird thing to describe. I think some reviews have, like, been better at describing it, but, like, this game feels very gun-ho America, like, yo, let's go. While some of the previous games are more like, hey, yo, this is a little shady, isn't it? Like, Pandora Tomorrow is, like, the big one, you know, because they have Sam Fisher going like, ooh, whose side am I on? Whose side are you on? You know, like, I mean, it didn't go that far in Pandora Tomorrow, but it was there. There was, like, some self-awareness about everything. While here, they're more like, we need to protect the city. Oh, but the biggest problem with Blacklist story is just Sam Fisher. Like, in every aspect, it's Sam Fisher in this game. This is the worst rendition of Sam Fisher, like, in terms of writing, in terms of performance, in terms of, like, look, hell, even. Like, Sam Fisher looks way too young. Like, he's like 60 or something in this game. He looks 30. And it's just like, you know, if you have zero context for what Splinter Cell is or what Sam Fisher is, you know, maybe it won't bother you so much. But if you played the previous games, this is going to immediately stand out. It's like, what is this? Like, he looks sturdy, he sounds sturdy, and he acts like a complete asshole the entire game. And it's just like, okay, so the strategy here is wait for that guy to kind of get out. Oh, to be fair, I actually kind of jinxed it here. I was kind of experimenting with what to do. So I was like being really playful with the way I approached this level. Like I wasn't really supposed to drop off there. That's not really an ideal thing to do. I'm winging it at this point in terms of strategy. Like, I mean, like there is no concrete strategy I'm doing here. I'm just winging it. I'm winging my commentary at this point. I'm not really saying anything substantial. So anyways, back to complaining about Sam Fisher's new voice actor. So I don't know the name of the new voice actor, like, but he's not really a bad voice actor. Like, I feel if he was doing a different character, like a young Batman, or hell, even like a Daredevil, he's honestly, his performance kind of reminds me of Charlie Cox's Daredevil in the Netflix series. He kind of does the same kind of grumbly type lines. If he was doing something more in that vein, okay, yeah, take that guy out, you know, whatever. That guy's really annoying. He has night vision goggles. Okay, let me get back to complaining about performances. I'll complain about strategy. Yeah, take that guy out too. It's really important. But yeah, like, I don't know, if he was doing something more like a character like that, and he wouldn't, people wouldn't be talking crap about him. But he's trying to like you know, replace Michael Ironside. To be fair, I mean, like, there's a very so shoot a sticky noise maker just to distract the enemy instead of taking them out. But yeah, and then you'll go to this door. Oh, there's gonna be an enemy coming in there, so just kind of get to this side here and kind of try to distract the enemy. You know, call him over, and then you'll take him out. But yeah, like, I mean, Michael Ironside, he was dealing with cancer, so it's very understandable why he wasn't available to do this performance. I mean, Ubisoft made up an excuse as to why they didn't bring him back, which, you know, because I guess he didn't want to reveal to everyone that he was dealing with cancer. You know, I can respect that. That's respectable. But it's just like, oh, they should have gotten someone older. Cause it's just like, it doesn't matter what this guy does. He's never going to sound like that old and jaded like Michael Ironside did. Like, I don't know, Michael Ironside's performance had this gruffness, had this, like, he nailed the character, really. Like, I mean, Sam Fisher isn't really that interesting of a character, but like that performance really makes it. And look at this, I can just do this little like loop-de-loop alarm like airport thing, and like nothing happens. Anyways, here is gonna be the only time we use an EMP arrow, and it's just like it shoots out all the lights. It's brilliant. But like, yeah, this new guy is never going to capture like just the gruffness and like age which Michael Ironside just naturally has, and also just brought to that performance. It's just not gonna happen. And, you know, even if, like, he could kind of get close to that, he's also dealing with the fact that this is, like, the worst written Sam Fisher of the entire series. He had, like, the new voice actor has all the cards stacked against him. Like, the model looks too young, his voice is too young for the character, and he's playing the worst rendition of the character so far. Look, I don't know, the previous Sam Fisher, he was old, he was jaded, he sometimes cracked jokes, you know, he was kind of like an old military guy. The guy here is just a fucking gruff asshole. Like, I don't know, he's like way too mean to people. I mean, okay, I mean, calling someone who's like in the military a bit mean, I mean, you know, he has like a right to be kind of mean. Look how close I was to failing that. Yeah, I reloaded a checkpoint here because I was just kind of tired of redoing this mission. You know what, I'll reload this checkpoint, it's at the end of the level, you know, whatever. We've kind of reached the point where I'm using checkpoints now, alright? We're just gonna have to deal with that. Because like this part of the level can be pretty annoying. So strategy, run past those guys. There's gonna be a guy who like approaches me coming up here. You know, like before you do like the valuable VIP mission, this guy will be a valuable VIP. That's what annoys me about like the optional missions in this game, is that they're still kind of coded in there, but once you do them, it's just gone. Like this guy would be the valuable VIP. He would be the optional objective, but you know, I already did it, so you know it's not the optional objective anymore. I hate it. Like it's so annoying. But yeah, what was I getting back to? Like, I don't know, Sam Fisher, like, he's just like, there's that whole moment with Briggs where, like, you know, Briggs, like, he protects him instead of doing the mission. Like, alright, Briggs, you're off the team. And it's just like, he has this, like, temper. Like, I understand this temper if this was conviction, but we're past conviction. There's no need to be this fucking, like, much of a dickhead. Like, alright, like, it's not interesting. Like, I don't find it interesting. I don't find it engaging. I just find it annoying. It just kind of, like, it just kind of slows down the plot a lot of the time. It's just like, ugh. Like, there's no joy to this rendition. It's just like edgy, like, you know, military guy, and it's just like it feels more like a Call of Duty. Oh, even Call of Duty has more like fun protagonists. Like, Sam Fisher in this game doesn't compare to like a Soap or like a Price. Like, I want to complain about the Sam Fisher in this game in a more elaborate fashion, but I just don't know how. Oh yeah, so here I'm gonna throw a smoke grenade so I can kind of deal with the heavy guy easier. So, like, I mean, you can throw a smoke grenade to get past the heavy guys or just to get behind them easier. And yeah, look at that, boom, taken out, very nice. Yeah, I used the drone to kind of take out the dog. There was a dog in this level. I hate the dog, hate that. Like this level, just like there's really not much space to move in this level. It feels really restrictive, like this section of the level in particular. Okay, so like I mean, this section was a little annoying, and then to end it off, I mean, this level is really complex. You know, you have like that really intense firefight like at the very beginning of the level in the dark room.
Another wave of enemy vehicles closing on
And
you.
then you have the section with the SD card. Then you have to escape the level in this kind of like linear, very limited section. And once you're done with all that, you have to deal with this stupid action set piece. I hate. Why am I doing this in a Splinter Cell game? Why? Like Conviction was worse with this, but like it's like, you know, it's a very brief, very like short section, but it's like, why are you doing this? Like, stop with these focus tested like Call of Duty ass fucking sections in my Splinter Cell game. Like, I mean, if you're gonna bring Splinter Cell back, don't do this. Oh yeah, there's that Splinter Cell remake that's coming out. I have no hope in that whatsoever. I have not played a modern Ubisoft game. I mean, to be fair, this technically counts as a modern Ubisoft game, but like, it doesn't. It's like old modern Ubisoft. You know, there's like the classic Ubisoft, you know, Prince of Persia, you know, Splinter Cell, like the old Splinter Cell games. Like, to my knowledge, that's like classic Ubisoft. And then there's like more modern Ubisoft, which is like, you know, Conviction, Assassin's Creed, this. But then there's an even more modern Ubisoft, which is like, you know, games I don't play. You know, like now Assassin's Creed is like a hack and slash now. I don't know. There's Watchdog, like Legion, which is like some weird PvP thing. I don't even know. And now Ubisoft is doing NFTs. I don't want fucking NFTs in my video games, alright? Like, I mean, all I've seen from NFTs in video games is that they're just gonna add more grind to multiplayer games. Like, I played 25 hours of Rainbow Six Siege. That was, like, the grind in that game is ridiculous. I'm annoyed with it. I do not want more grind in Rainbow Six Siege, okay? And like, I don't care if it's monetized. Oh, you're gonna get $5 for fucking grinding 600 hours. Get out of here with that. Come on. I mostly play single player games, but like, I mean, I don't put fucking NFTs in the Splinter Cell remake. Like, if they find a way to put NFTs in the Splinter Cell remake, I'm not playing it. Just plain and simple. It's not getting played. All right, I'm not dealing with that. I mean, to be fair, I don't even know if I want to play the Splinter Cell remake. Like, I don't have any hope in it. Now, there's like some promise because it's going to be the same studio that made Splinter Cell Blacklist here, and they said that they're going to approach a more linear design, which they need to. Open world Splinter Cell would be stupid, frankly. Like, Splinter Cell does not work in an open world. I mean, I want it to be linear, but still like be open-ended. I mean, like a little bit more open-ended than Blacklist, more chaos theory, maybe a little bit more open than chaos theory. You know, like allow me to explore a level back and forth without like locking me like out of certain sections like this game does, and you know, we'll be solid. And also, the original Splinter Cell could use some improvements. Like, it's not a perfect game. Like, honestly, you could tone down the action stuff. But yeah, so here, there's an action set piece which you can, like, play kind of stealthily. And, oh yeah, so I'm going to use electric darts because some of the enemies here have gas masks. So, because they have gas masks, the gas arrows won't work on them. And, like, I kept failing this level precisely because I did not know that. So yeah, there comes a point where we take out a bunch of enemies and you kind of like bum rush like the last enemy is still shooting people. And okay, look, they're gonna steal my like Tanaka. Look at that. What? Come on! Like, I mean, why should I care about the non-lethal options when stuff like that can just happen? Like, come on, man. And this game, when it wants to be a good stealth game, it's really good, but then it just has stupid shit like this, and like the drone stuff, and then some of the more actiony like set pieces. It's like, stop doing this. It's like, like Briggs is just like it's just like a merc moveset. It's just like playing it. When you're playing as Briggs, you're playing as a merc. I mean, this game brings back the Spies vs. Merc multiplayer. When you're playing as Briggs, you're playing as a merc, and I hate that you don't have any non-lethal takedown options. You can approach enemies, you can take them out, but it's only a kill. Why? Why can't I just like, you know, non-lethally choke someone out? Why does it have to be a kill? So you're pretty much relegated to using like the sticky shockers for non-lethal takedowns or the gas grenades for non-lethal takedowns. You can't use a physical non-lethal takedown. That's so annoying. And to be fair, this game should have had its non-lethal takedowns a little bit more regulated, because like when you're playing as Sam Fisher, there's no real difference between using a non-lethal takedown and a lethal takedown. You really just approach an enemy, you press a button, and it happens. Like, it doesn't even take that much. Like I mean, a non-lethal takedown doesn't. a non-lethal takedown doesn't take more time than like a lethal takedown. At least like not much. So it's just like there's no real difference between them. There should be like a bit more balancing between the two options. But doing what you do with Briggs, that's stupid. Also, the first-person perspective makes it hard to kind of like run past enemies or like judge where enemies are. It's just like you don't have the same gear as Sam. You can't even customize your gear as like Briggs. You just have to deal with what the game gives you. So it's like, ah, come on, man. It's just so annoying. And yeah, I'll be reloading checkpoints in this level because this level is annoying. It's a really short level. I honestly should have returned to it and like, you know, done it in one go. But you know, I'm tired. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And there's like that one section at the very end of the level, which is a complete pain in the ass. So it's like, the strategy here is to run past the enemies, and sometimes they won't see you. It's like, there's that sniper. Snipers can be a bit inconsistent sometimes, because sometimes you can run past them, or sometimes they'll like catch a brief glimpse at you, and they'll completely ruin your run. So there's gonna be some enemies here, and you know you kind of have to avoid them, and yeah, just kind of hopefully just kind of run past here. We're gonna run up to the sniper. We're gonna take out. Oh yeah, there's mines around this area, so you know you don't want to get blown up. So you know, be careful of those mines. They will. Oh, you don't even need to take out the sniper. I take out the sniper in the future section, but not in this section. You can just kind of run up here, and then you're in the next part of the level. And then for the strategy here, run up to this like one piece of cover. There's gonna be an enemy slowly approaching, like on the other side. You kind of want to get into position before that enemy gets into their position. Yeah, get up here, get over there. And then like there'll come a point where we'll be able to take this guy out easy peasy, no problem. Very nice. There was something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it is. Oh yeah, the enemy's gonna come into your position and you're gonna boom, bam, pow. These takedown animations are really cool. I mean, like some people have issues with them, but I don't mind them much. I mean, like it would be fun to have a faster takedown speed. I don't know, maybe. But these takedowns are cool. I like them. I don't have an issue with them really. I guess like they may be a little too easy to do. That's the one issue with them, but like. And also, I guess with these like contextual animations, like I mean, they could be a little bit too cinematic to be like fun to use in gameplay. But these feel fun. I don't know. They feel like they flow pretty well with the gameplay. Like I don't know, games with like kind of intrusive takedowns is stuff like I don't know, Human Revolution, or like the FIFA 4 game, because you're always in the first person perspective. So jumping to the third person perspective is really jarring and all that. But you know. I'll talk about those games whenever I get around to playing those games. So yeah, this sniper, I'm going to take them out. And here's another thing. I mean, an optional objective here would be like a laptop you can hack. But since I already hacked that laptop in a previous run, it's gone. There's no laptop to hack. It's like, why would you take out the optional objectives once you're done with them? They're fun optional objectives to do. If I want to replay a mission, I want to replay those optional objectives too. I mean, they change how you approach the level. Why would you take them out? Yeah, sometimes the sniper will notice you before you get to this point. Sometimes they won't. It's kind of hard to tell. Sometimes the heavy guy will be outside. Sometimes they'll be inside talking to this guy. It's a little inconsistent. You know, it spices up the gameplay. So you can't always rely on the same tactics, but it also kind of convolutes plans. So it's like,
I don't want a few bumps setting this thing off early. Everything's within tone. All we need to do is load the bomb and strap it down. So we're good to go. We can load up anytime we want.
Shutting the device down.
Just like that.
Not my first rodeo breaks.
Device deactivated.
That was fast.
Copy. At the roundhouse. Gotta get to the roundhouse before.
Yeah, like it's just like you can't really react to enemies because you know it's like you're in the first person perspective, so you kind of have to come up with a predetermined plan to deal with all this. And yeah, like like the sniper here will sometimes notice you, sometimes they won't notice you. And it's just like that can be annoying to deal with. But yeah, I'm trying to rush this. I'm gonna take that guy out with a shocker, and then once I'm done with taking out the guy with shocker, it's pretty much we're gonna be sprinting throughout most of this level. Yeah, we're gonna be running out through here, and you can't use the shocker much because you know it's your only non-lethal takedown. So you have to like save the non-lethal takedowns you do. So you pretty much have to like ghost most of this level. You're forced to. And it's like ghosting in this first-person perspective with this noisy-ass Briggs. It's just like doesn't really have many tools to deal with. Like, man, it's like it's interesting kind of, but it sucks. It sucks, man. It's like this game is good except for the parts which aren't good, which are kind of brief and not the main gameplay loop. And yeah, just sometimes that sniper won't be there. They'll be in a different location and they'll be closer to you, and it's just like, that's really annoying. This is the part that kind of kills me. Like, you have to get really lucky with sneaking past the enemies. I'm gonna use like a noisemaker. It's gonna maybe distract them, but sometimes these enemies have a nasty habit of turning around at the very last second, like that. Look at that. Ah, my throat. Oh, my throat, man, it hurts. And now there's this stupid ass action set piece. So we're gonna bring back the train. Like, hey, trains were awesome in Pandora tomorrow. Nah, but this time it's a shitty action set piece. Ah, man. This game is really good for the most part, but then there are parts which try my patience. So yeah, put a smoke grenade here. It's gonna confuse the enemies when you get into here, and it's gonna make your chances of not getting shot easier. So here you're going to be able to get a bit of a stealth knockout, because if you just approach these enemies immediately, it's going to be a combat knockout, and you do not want that. You want as many points for the Ghost Mastery. So yeah, you're going to wait for these enemies to be a little distracted, and you know, if you're not quick enough, like one of these enemies is going to be a combat knockout, but boom, I was very quick, and I was able to get stealth knockout. So for this part, you don't need to throw a smoke grenade, you're good. Just kind of quickly make your way up here, and if you take these guys out quick enough, it'll be a stealth knockout, but it's going to go on point, it's going to be a combat knockout. It's just like, yeah, combat knockout. I mean, it's just one. You can deal with it. You know, like this. Okay, this part sucks, but it's not that bad. This next part is atrocious, and it's completely RNG based, frankly, if you get shot or not. Like, I mean, like, okay, like TGP, like his videos are really helpful, but even he took damage at this point because it's random. It's completely random what happens at this point. It's like, you have to go to this window specifically, and once you get to this window, you have to immediately take cover. But even if you take cover, like a stray bullet might hit you or might not hit you. I got really lucky here. The stray bullet didn't hit me, but it's like, like, why? And yeah, I don't think there's much you can do here. Like, it's always gonna be a combat knockout here because like, you're just so frenzied. You're so like, I hate this part of the level. Like, if you're gonna bring back a train, why do it in the worst way possible? I hate it so much. And like, these guys have hostages, so they're either gonna shoot the hostages, they're gonna shoot you, and it's always gonna be a combat knockout. And the level's over. It's like, I'm tired of this level, dude. Like, what a shitty way to end the level, man. I hate it. It's like, come on, man.
Wire transfer just cleared.
Yeah, so like, here's the thing with this story. So we're in Guantanamo Bay, right? I don't know that much about Guantanamo Bay, but it's like a torture center, right? Like, I mean, people don't have the Geneva Convention there. You know, like, I mean, they don't have any rights, really. And Sam Fisher, like, I mean, the first time he tortures someone here, like, he doesn't make any reference to, like, how bad of a place this is. He's just kind of here. It's like, oh, just, you know, just par for the course. You know, like, oh, don't hurt any friendlies. Like, it just, like, ignores any of the gray morality going on in this fucking place. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, don't hurt the friendlies. Also, like, there's dogs here. There's like dog enemies you have to watch out for in this level. If you kill a dog, the level restarts because you can't kill a friendly US dog. It's like, bro, what? Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like in previous Splinter Cell games, like, Sam Fisher would at least be like, you know, he'd make like some snide remark, like, you know, there's no like, if he's torturing someone in like a previous Splinter Cell game, he'd make some snide remark like, you know, there's no Geneva Convention here. But here he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna hurt you a lot. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. I mean, like, I like the idea of going to Guantanamo Bay for a level, but this game doesn't do much with it. It's just kind of like, yeah, we're here, we're doing stuff, and it's just like, I'm not offended by it per se. I mean, like, is it a bit offensive? Maybe, I don't know, but I don't really care much. Like, I mean, it's just that it's wasted potential is what it is. It's really funny how I'm walking down, and like, I was pretty much about to hit that wall. I think another reason which like the choices really annoy me is that, well, one, they usually the characters which you like are given a choice to kill or not kill are usually never important. This is like the only guy that gets any sort of This is the only guy that gets any sort of build up to whether you should kill him or not. He's whatever. He's just some guy who knows stuff in the war economy, which you met in a previous mission. That's all the build up he gets. There's not much to him. Yeah, the strategy here is just wait for that guy to get open the door, enter this window here, and then just kind of continue from there. But it's just like, it's a lack of self-awareness about like what the US is like doing, especially since like these characters used to be kind of self-aware, but now they're very gung-ho about most things going on here. Yeah, you kind of get behind this crate and then walk up here, and also walk slowly. You don't have your gear with you anymore, so you actually have to modulate your speed a bit, and your speed on PC is binary. It's a little less binary on console, but on PC, what can you do? It's gonna be binary. And now here it's a little random whether the sniper will notice you or not, and you kind of want to like dash between cover points when the sniper doesn't have a bead on you like that. And yeah, just make sure the sniper doesn't get a bead on you, because you're gonna need to do a lot of running in the viewpoint where the sniper usually has a view on you, and they'll catch you very quickly. So yeah, kind of go there, and then from here kind of get to this piece of cover and then run to these pipes. Once you get to these pipes and you're up there on the pipes, you have to be very quick with this, because like you have to get here before the other enemy like gets to this position. And then once you're here, you should be pretty much good to go. It's just gonna be a lot of climbing. And now I'm going to complain about something else, which is unrelated to what I was talking about before, but it is related to this game. So binary system. So your sound and your shadow are binary. I'm not a fan of that. I like how like gradual it was in the first 3 games. Like, I mean, there's like a little bit of light, there's a little bit of shadow, or sometimes you're fully in shadow, sometimes you're fully in light. Like, I mean, that's sort of like differentiation, and like makes the gameplay more interesting, especially with a sound meter. Like, I don't know, the way you can make less sound or more sound, and it just kind of depends sometimes how you can like immediately tell if the environment will like mask your sound or not. I really like that. But here there's no difference if like you're sprinting in like a war zone or sprinting in complete silence. It's the same. Like, you're the only one making any sort of sound. Like, there's the sound of the environment doesn't affect you at all. Yeah, the strategy here is to hide behind this piece of cover, wait for this one guard to kind of like get out of the way. And once they're out of the way, you start moving between cover once again. And, it's like, the issue isn't just that it's binary. I mean, if hiding in shadow is binary, if you're completely hidden or like completely not hidden, that's one thing. Another thing is that hiding in shadow in like Blacklist just isn't very useful or very like resourceful. I mean, like, it has some use, like, it kind of helps, but thing is, you're never going to be in a situation where hiding in shadow is more useful than just hiding behind cover or avoiding enemy sight lines. Like, I mean, when the game introduces that you can hide in shadow, like in the very first real level, I mean, it introduces it in like that tutorial level, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, pretty much you kind of wait for that one guard to get by, you kind of swing between pieces of cover, you climb that window, you wait for that one guard to get into the changing room, and now you're into this changing room. And okay, this level has this one very annoying glitch which kept happening at this part of the level, and I was just it was infuriating, because it meant I had to restart the entire level or restart a checkpoint, and I didn't really feel like restarting a checkpoint. I wanted to do this entire level, and this is actually one of the shorter levels in the game, surprisingly enough, if you know what you're doing. So yeah, wait for that one guard to not be looking at you, and then climb this part. And this part's a little random, because like you can't really run all the way like out of here, because there's gonna be a guard who like may or may not come inspect the back of this truck. You have to be careful with that guy, or sometimes he won't, and it's just like you kind of have to like be on the fly about this. If he's not inspecting the back of the truck and he's instead inspecting another section of the truck, you climb up here, you climb up there, you take cover here, and then you wait for an enemy to not be there. If the enemy's not like in front of you, okay, are they in front of you or not? Like, okay, if the enemy's like in front of you and they go over there, you wait for them to kind of get out of the way, you climb up here, and then you make a mad dash for this section, and sometimes they'll catch you, sometimes they won't. It's random. This is the glitch I keep encountering. I would climb up to this window, and I literally could not move. I would be stuck clinging onto the window. I could not go in, I could not drop down, and I don't know what causes it, but it was infuriating. It happened to me like 5 times, and I had to restart the entire mission just because of that. I had to I had to exit the game. I don't know what caused it, but it was infuriating. And there, something very funny happened where I climbed a window and I broke glass, but there was no sound. Like, the enemies were kind of alerted by that, but maybe they weren't alerted by that. It's just like, it was a funny little inconsistency. Yeah, like, just follow my path. You have to kind of like follow this path, or you drop down and you climb up again, because I don't know, this piece of terrain to get to this window is lower than the other like climbable terrain, so you can't just drop down to like to get to this window. You kind of have to drop down to the ground and climb up again. It's a little bit weird of terrain. It kind of forces you to not do a bunch of climbing all the time. So yeah, here we're gonna knock out this enemy. Who's gonna be approaching us very slowly there, and the rest of the strategy for this level is gonna be kind of hugging the left side of the map, and it kind of depends on RNG if like an enemy will be in your way or not. Yeah, just kind of hug the left side of the map a bit. Yeah, the enemy's expecting something. You kind of run to a piece of cover. Sometimes there'll be an enemy kind of around this area, but I guess there's not here for some reason. I don't know. The game's just like that sometimes. Sometimes you get an easy break. Sometimes you get a horrible break. And it's like, oh, come on. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, and you don't need to do that. In fact, it's better if you don't do that. That alerts people. That causes noise. You do not want to cause that. And here I'm kind of winging it. You know, I'm kind of like, oh, I hope I can get past this part. And thankfully, I can get past this part. And now I think, oh no, we're not home. We're not like home clear yet. We're still in a bit of a difficult section. So, like right now, there's gonna be a sniper here. We're gonna take out the sniper. And once we take out the sniper, okay, this is like the one time. This is one of the times where shadow actually works. It's very funny, and also another time is that most of the time guards have flashlights, so they kind of just make shadows useless. And then there's like those night vision goggle enemies that's very annoying. They tend to pop up quite a few times. Yeah, so I hid in shadow, and for some reason that guy couldn't see me. I like that, but it was still inconsistent, right? Because the enemies like sight lines were kind of building up, they kind of weren't building up. I'm gonna take this guy out right here, because I'm going to zip line over to that position. There's a dog around here. I don't know where they are. They kind of notice me. They kind of don't notice me. But if you're very quick about this and you take out the guy, you know, kind of checking stuff out over there, you can just zip line over here, get over here, and now we're onto like, we're kind of home free, because this next part of the game is very easy. There's going to be like a bunch of snipers hanging out around here, but if you just hug the left side of the map, you're pretty much going to be good. Though there is like, you know, it's a little inconsistent with the snipers. Sometimes they see you, sometimes they don't. You know how it is. But just kind of, once you get into this map, just kind of hug the left side of the map. Also, weird observation, but this reminds me a lot of an airsoft field. Like, I did a bit of airsoft every now and then. I sucked ass at it. I got my ass shot. There was one time in airsoft where I jumped over a car to kind of get to cover, and I got my ass shot the fuck, my literal ass shot the fuck up, and I was like, ah! Like, I got bruises on there, man. It was so annoying. Yeah, see, it's that simple. It's that simple. Just hug the left side of the map, and now you're here. And this reminds me a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5, the Ground Zeroes, because like their level was also pretty much Guantanamo Bay, and you know they're more thematically appropriate there. But I don't know, Ground Zero kind of has an issue of being a little too edgy. It's a little bit too cynical of a game, frankly, and maybe that could maybe be that you can maybe complain about that with the Phantom Pain as well, but. I mean, now that I'm reminded of the Ground Zeroes, I think Ground Zeroes is a better stealth game, though Ground Zeroes is a paid demo as well, so it's like, oh, come on, man. But yeah, it's just weird because Ground Zero is such like an open-ended game that this is like so linear. It's a weird disconnect. I don't know. I was complaining about something beforehand. I forgot what it was. Airsoft. So yeah, like that. I don't know. I guess it's because like airsoft fields tend to replicate what you see in like those tall Call of Duty type games. They try to replicate what you see in these type of games, right? You know, because it's like a military type thing. And hell, I mean, I went to the airsoft place. Like one of the posters is just like the Battlefield 3 guy, but like edited to be blue, and he had like wings behind him. It was really funny. But yeah, it's like that sniper nest kind of reminded me of an airsoft place. I've definitely nested in some houses every now and then. And it's like, I don't want to go back. I mean, I'll do it sometime just for fun, but whatever. Throat.
Resource transfer complete.
Alright, so here we have a more conviction style level where we pretty much have to hold out against a wave of enemies. Though you can kind of take everyone out without, you know, actually. And yes, I'll be restarting it because, okay, for some reason this level starts off immediately after the Guantanamo Bay level. You know, like, you don't have time to go back to your ship and like regroup. Nah, you start just level off immediately. Though you can restart it as many times as you want. It's its own level. In fact, you can even select it on its own, but you know, whatever. We're just here, we're selecting this level, and it pretty much just amounts to running around the battlefield, trying to get behind enemies and then shooting them or taking them out with, like, you know, hand-to-hand combat. But it's best you stick to your arrows and all that. And also you're a bit limited in like your arrows. You don't have like your full loadout, but you have most of your loadout. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to arrows because I mean, if you get a little too close to enemies and like another enemy spots you, they just shoot you immediately. So it's like, oh, look, this is so lucky. Most of the time when an enemy does that to you, they shoot you immediately. But I don't know, like he didn't shoot me immediately, so I had like a little bit of time to shoot him back. And okay, my throat's starting to hurt a little bit. Owie, owie, owie. Okay, I've gotten to the point where I don't know if my throat is hurting because of the throat virus or because I just talk a lot. Because, I mean, usually with these longer videos, like, I mean, my throat aches a little bit because I talk so much. I mean, that's normal. I expect that. But what's scary about, like, these virus type things that you don't know what's normal. You don't know if you're supposed to feel like this. You don't know if it's going to go away in a couple days because, you know, it's like, it's anxiety inducing. It's like, ah. But yeah, but I've run out of things to talk about on my outline. This is not something new. This is something which happens quite a bit with my videos. So now I'm just gonna go back to a previous topic I was like talking about, the Splinter Cell remake. Okay, so things I want to see in the Splinter Cell remake: bring back the shadow and like light and shadow meter, bring back the sound meter. Like, I mean, if like a Splinter Cell remake comes out and like its shadow system is binary, like it's already worse than the original game. I'm sorry, like you failed, frankly. So bring those back, and if you don't, then your game is gonna suck. Frankly, that's just how it is. Like, is there more nuance to this conversation? Maybe, but it's gonna suck. I'm sorry, it's just gonna suck. Number 2, dial down on the action set pieces. Like, the action set pieces in Splinter Cell 1 suck ass, or at least rework them so that they're more open-ended, kind of like these Blacklist ones. Though I'm not really that big on the Blacklist ones, but you know, they're better than the ones in like the first Splinter Cell. Oh my goodness, they are much better. So yeah, there's gonna come a point where like cars, there's like a couple of like cars with reinforcements come in. Just kind of run to a place where you're not gonna be seen by those cars, and you should be fine. This is a very easy level, but it's easy to mess up too. Because, you know, you might do one wrong move, or like an enemy might do something a little bit unpredictable, and you're just kind of screwed there, alright? You're just kind of screwed. But it's nothing like that bad. Like, you should be able to just kind of run around, and if an enemy sees you, like, I mean, hopefully just take them out and like run around to like a safe place, and you should be good. Though sometimes you might get caught at a bad area, and thankfully, since I have my radar fully upgraded, it just makes things all the easier. You know, try to like get the enemies which are like on the far sides of the field, like, you know, on the far right, on the far left. Like, get those guys first, and then start tackling the guys in the middle, because like the guys on the far right or far left are usually alone, they're usually isolated, usually easier to take out for like a non-lethal takedown. But yeah, the Splinter Cell remake, if I really hope you can bring back all the original voice actors, because if you can't, you're not gonna beat them. Let's just say that you're not gonna beat them. Now, the thing with Splinter Cell is the way I would want it to continue, I do not want Sam Fisher back. Sam Fisher has plenty of games. Just get someone new to bring in, like, you know, to steal the show. Hell, bring in someone younger. I mean, you definitely need someone younger to do all these acrobatics and all that. Like, Sam Fisher, I don't think is as iconic as Ubisoft, like, thinks he is. Especially not this rendition of Sam Fisher. Like, if you're gonna bring back Sam Fisher and he's like this asshole, like, don't even bother. Bring in someone like Briggs. Briggs would have been a cool way to continue like the Splinter Cell franchise. Though, to be fair, I guess in 2013, the conversation around wokeness was like a lot more alive than it is now, and it's very annoying. You know, like those fucking wrecking SJW videos. You know, like fucking if Briggs was the main character and Sam Fisher didn't come back, you know, you get a lot of like fucking dumbass like videos like, oh, wait, Sam Fisher, this Splinter Cell woke now? Like, I mean, it would have been so annoying. You know, it would have sucked ass so much. And here's another time where we're controlling a drone. So don't fucking bring this shit into the Splinter Cell remake. I hate this stuff, alright? Like, don't. Just don't. Alright, so another thing with the Splinter Cell remake is, okay, I wouldn't be completely opposed to new voices, but it's just kind of like, you're better off bringing out the old voices. Like, Michael Ironside, he dealt with his cancer issue, thankfully. Like, he seems to be doing all right. He was in that movie Nobody, so he's still getting acting work in there. So, you know, bring him back. And bring back the original voice of Lambert, of everyone, really. Everyone, like, everyone in the original Splinter Cell does a great job with their character, like, voice. Bring them back. They deserve to come back. What else? I say just add more cutscenes so that things make a little bit more sense, just because, like, having everything kind of doled out to you in, like, those, like, briefing, like, text things in throughout the radio definitely makes you feel a little bit more disconnected from the story. And yeah, you know, like, bring back the good stuff from the game, but like take out the shitty parts. Also rework that entire oil field level, like out in the sky. That's like the worst level in the original Splinter Cell. Like rework that entire thing. But here's one thing that makes me very unconfident with the new Splinter Cell. I mean, one, we don't really know anything about it. Two, it was announced very shortly after Ubisoft said they would do NFT. So like, this is giving me like the major Overwatch 2 vibes. You know, like, oh, massive backlash from people. All right, let's announce something that people want. Like, hey, Splinter Cell, you know the thing we haven't done anything with for like over a decade or something? Yeah, we're gonna do a remake, guys. Yeah, get excited for that. Like, okay. You know, you have jack shit information. Like, you don't have anything. You just announced it so that people would get off your ass about the NFTs. Like, okay.
Our payment just cleared.
There's also the issue of a modern Ubisoft. Like, I don't know, like, I don't even play modern Ubisoft games because they just don't interest me. Like, I don't know how they do a stealth game. I mean, like, okay, the same studio that made Blacklist is going to be working on it, so you have some, like, experience to work with. I feel like they could update what they did with, like, you know, Blacklist here and actually, you know, make it more like OG Splinter Cell. Like, I mean, they could do that. As long as like no focus testing gets in the way or like no misguided directions get in the way. Like, so this part right here, I ran into a very funny glitch where like the enemies over there were all just allies. Like the you know the guys with goggles that show up at some point. Yeah, these guys, they never showed up. No people with goggles ever showed up in this level. The people shooting like our U.S. allies over here were the same like models of the U.S. allies, and they also couldn't see me. I was literally like running straight up in their faces, and they didn't react. It was really weird. It was also really inconsistent. It happened to me twice. But sometimes they'll have like the models of like, you know, your friends, but they will see you. It's like it was such a weird ass glitch. I want to upload a video demonstrating that glitch. I mean, I have video footage of that glitch happening, so I'll upload it someday, but not now. But yeah, pretty much the strategy is to kind of climb up that thing, drop off that thing, run past them, and it's inconsistent if they'll see you or not. It's RNG. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And same thing here. So you'll run here, you'll crawl through that vent, and then there'll be this little RC car, and you want to kind of climb up there. But you have to wait for the little RC car to you know move out of the way. And then you climb up here, and it's gonna be a little bit RNG if there'll be an RC card there or not. Because sometimes there will be, sometimes there won't be. And it's also RNG if that guy will see you or not. Because sometimes an enemy will be straight in front of you. Sometimes he'll actually turn around too quickly and fully see you. It's all RNG. So yeah, it makes like these like kind of quick dash strategies a lot more frustrating because sometimes you just can't do it. Sometimes you just fail, so you have to restart the entire mission. It's like, ah. And now here, we're going to have to take out every single person, and this is a little easier, because you have to take out every single person. So we're going to climb to this vent here, and then we're going to take out the tricopter, the drone, yeah.
Men are getting shot, over! 2 minutes. We can't move until the air is clear. Out here.
So yeah, like here it's just more winging it, but I do kind of have a bit of a strategy. You know, I start off, I go to that vent, I take out one guy with like sniping him with my crossbow, I take out the tricopter, I try to take out as many enemies with the tricopter, and then while they're dealing with that, I'll exit the vent and then just start moving around, start trying to take out enemies here. There's like 2 heavy enemies, so you know, you have to be careful with those guys. And I don't know if that guy's heavy, but I took him out. And then just, you can actually like, there's some pipes you can climb around. I mean, there's a lot of things you can climb around in this game. This is probably one of my favorite things about Blacklist. It's its verticality. Yeah, you can do this. You can climb back. You can go back to this vent, and then you can go here, and then like this gives you a big advantage over the enemies. Like, okay, the biggest issue with like Blacklist stealth is, well, maybe takedowns are a little too easy, and the shadows just aren't really useful. Fix those things, and also, you know, add a sound meter in there, and you'll have a pretty good Splinter Cell. Also, the level design could be a little bit more open. You know, like, the level design shouldn't really lock behind you. Like, I don't know, when I'm playing a Chaos Theory level, I feel like I'm really sneaking through a whole complex. But when I'm playing a Blacklist level, it feels like I'm just running through like a bunch of puzzle boxes. You know, like, oh, I'm done with this puzzle box, let's move on to the next puzzle box. And, you know, that design is fun. It's honestly kind of like a, what's the word? It's kind of like a carrot. It's honestly kind of like a carnival run. No, that's not it. It's like a, I don't know what to call it, but it's just like you're running from puzzle box to puzzle box, and then, you know, once you're done with one puzzle box, you can never really return to that previous puzzle box. So it feels less like a, you know, like a location you're exploring, and a lot more, you know, like just like, oh, here's your obstacle course, and now, oh yeah, it's an obstacle course. It feels like most Blacklist levels just feel like I'm running straight through an obstacle course. And that's fun in its own right, but I don't think like Splinter Cell is at its full potential when I'm just doing these like obstacle course type like stealth challenges. Though it is very fun, and running through them is also, as quickly as possible, is very fun, don't get me wrong. But I feel like Splinter Cell should lean a little less on that, and a lot more on like maybe a little slower. They do kind of like how fast Blacklist is, especially how fast Sam can move like when climbing stuff. Okay, like the one thing I don't like about Chaos Theory is how slow you are when climbing pipes. I much prefer climbing pipes super quickly like I do in Blacklist. I think that is an objective improvement. Like, I don't see the advantage of like climbing slowly on pipes. It just kind of slows things down, I'm not gonna lie. So what else? There was something else I wanted to say. Yeah, like, I mean, I haven't really played any modern, like, the last Assassin's Creed game I played was like 4, and I have not touched it since. Though I have been kind of wanting to revisit them, maybe like do all the main assassination missions, and like Assassin's Creed 1 no damage. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Oh, it seems I took everyone out, so you kind of have to run here, climb this pipe, and then we're going to enter pretty much just a bunch of platforming. Though you have to be careful, because with this platform you can actually take damage. So I'm trying to do a no damage run here. So when I took damage at this point, I was very upset, and I had to restart everything. So pretty much do not run to the sides, run through the middle, because those explosions, if you stick too close to the side, they'll actually deal real damage. Like, the fire will burn you. But if you stick to the middle, it'll just be like cinematic damage, you know, not real damage. I mean, you don't have a health bar, but like when I stuck a little bit too close to the right, like my screen started to go red. So I was like, oh, yeah. Also, I kind of miss how good the music was in Chaos Theory, though, to be fair. I guess the music's never going to be as cool as Chaos Theory, because that type of soundtrack just doesn't get made anymore. I mean, I'm probably talking out of my ass. I'm sure there's some game which has a soundtrack as cool as that. Yeah, so put it in the comments. You know, games with soundtracks would sound exactly like Chaos Theory. You put that in the comments. Because I mean, Conviction technically has a good soundtrack, but it's like, it's not my style. I really want my like Chaos Theory style soundtrack. Though I'd probably say that Conviction has a better soundtrack than Blacklist. Though Blacklist, I don't really remember most of the soundtrack from Blacklist, so that's probably why I'm saying Conviction is better. Because at Conviction, I remember some stuff. Oh, okay, to be fair, you know what Conviction soundtrack reminds me of? It reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 soundtrack. It's like, there's some really like unconventional choices made every now and then, though. I feel Conviction handled them better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's like, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 had that, well, Electro Steve has that one part where he starts talking like Mario out of nowhere. Like, he hates on me, I hate on him. Like, what is that? Get that out of the Hans Zimmer soundtrack. Get out of here with that. Come on. Like, but the thing is, like, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 soundtrack isn't horrible or anything. It has some really good motifs to it. And I think it's more memorable than like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 soundtrack. I don't know, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 soundtrack honestly kind of sounds like fake Danny Elfman music. It doesn't stick with me as much. At least the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is going for something a little bit different and more experimental, but some of that stuff is annoying. Anyways, here I'm going to reload a checkpoint because I went for a very experimental strat here and I messed it up. So pretty much what I'm going to do is going to straight up run up here, throw a smoke grenade there. I have 2 smoke grenades. I'm going to use both of them. So that one's going to blind the people who are already outside. And then I'm going to throw another smoke grenade to blind the person who's like behind everyone else here, because they're a heavy. I can't really take them out. And yeah, like, look at that, completely blind. I love that. Smoke grenades are usually one of the most fun tools to use in this game. And then once you get to this point, boom, we're gonna go into a chase sequence, and it's a very annoying chase sequence, no lie. It's easy to mess up if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, first stay behind here, take out this guy with the arrow. Boom. And now we start running. You gotta be very fast with this stuff. Now climb up here. There's gonna be one enemy who's going to be approaching us. Yeah, climb up there, and there's gonna be a guy go there, but he won't be seeing us immediately. He's going to close the gate first. We're gonna try to get into position so we can shoot him. Boom, bam, take him out. It's like if you miss a gas arrow, like you pretty much get caught immediately. So you just don't want to do that. And yeah, climb up here and like okay. When it comes to platforming in this game, you can. Oh yeah, before you climb down here, you have to take out this guy because if you do not take out that guy, he starts shooting at you and you take damage. So first, you know, take out that guy and then get on this little ropey rope thing and then boom, drop down. Now this is all scripted. In fact, you can't even take damage from like this guy shooting fire things. And that's one thing I don't like about Blacklist. If you're like too high up in a location, you can't drop down. But the game refuses to let you drop down. Like if you're like climbing a pipe and you're like too high off the ground, the game will not let you drop. Like you mean if you're gonna take damage, the game will not let you drop unless you're like doing a tactical takedown. So yeah, so here's gonna be 3 enemies. If I take one out with gas, take another one out with gas, and the other one's gonna run up straight into like our melee range, so we can kind of wait him out here. Though it's better to take him out with gas, but he's gonna get into our melee range, so you know, whatever, who cares? Boom, bam, pow. But yeah, I want the game to let me drop from a high location, even if it lets me like, even if it like damages me, even if it kills me. Let me drop from a location, please. Though to be fair, some of the contextual actions you can do can be a little bit spotty, just because like, if you do like the wrong input of keyboard commands without even pressing like the drop command, you'll actually just straight up jump off a building. It's like, why? Oh, another annoying thing. So you have a button to get into cover and you have a button to jump over cover, but for some reason the button that lets you get into cover can also function as a button to jump over cover, and sometimes I'll be trying to get to cover but I'll instead jump over that cover because I'm like moving too fast, and it's like, I already have a button to jump over cover. I don't need a second button to jump over cover. What's wrong with you? Dude, that was very annoying. That stuff pissed me off because it screwed me over so many times.
Hey, it's Charlie. The Delta's boarding the plane, and I don't have long. You need to head for the fake weather station.
Alright, I hope you won't be surprised to know that this strategy is also RNG, once again, because, well, you kind of have to run past a sniper, you kind of hide in that cover for a little bit, and then, you know, you run when the sniper is looking at you, but if you're running to this location, sometimes the other sniper might get a glimpse of you, might not get a glimpse of you. But once you get to this point, this is not RNG, this is a little bit more consistent. You get this piece of cover, then you get to this piece of cover, and then you get to this piece of cover, and then you'll hack this thing here. And, this level is actually pretty good. I have to give Blacklist props. Its level design is usually really good a lot of the time. You know, it's usually really fun, usually open enough to give you options. And yeah, this heavy guy is going to be approaching from this side, so take him out. And then I'm going to take out that guy there. And then I'm going to run around the room to take out the other guy. Should have been a little quicker about that, but you know, whatever. I took him out eventually, and there we go. We're good to go. And then once we clear out that room and we hack that little computer thing, we're going to exit this room. And when we're exiting this room, I'm going to take out some snipers. So yeah, look at that guy there. That guy is sniping, and I do not like him. So I'm going to take him out. Boom. Take him out. And I think I'm going to try to take out the other guy. I don't know, like, it's a little harder to take out this other guy. Oh, I'm just going to throw a smoke grenade. Yeah, that is easier to do. Like, a smoke grenade is going to be easier to take out the other guys there. And it'll also distract the other guy from where you're going to be running. So then from there, you just kind of run over here. There is an enemy kind of hanging out around here, but I forget who. And yeah, also I will be retrying a lot of checkpoints, so if you notice that, don't. So now we're doing a laser puzzle. Splinter Cell had some of these. So okay, with Blacklist, the way where would I rank Blacklist in the Splinter Cell games I've played? Well, I would say it's either the 3rd best or the 4th best, and it all depends on whether I think this game is better than the first Splinter Cell game, because I'm leaning towards, I think Blacklist is a better game than the very first Splinter Cell, because okay, the very first Splinter Cell I think has higher highs. Like when the first Splinter Cell game wants to be really good, it is really good. It's like, you know, it's got some stuff that's like, you know, almost as good as like the stuff in Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory. Like, it's really great stuff. Like, you know, great shadow-based stealth gameplay. but it is not consistent. It is so not consistent. It drops the ball so many times with those dumbass action set pieces, with some really terrible levels. Some levels just are a little too linear for their own good. But, you know, I think Blacklist is a much more consistent experience all around. But I think the OG game reaches higher highs. But for Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory, yeah, I think those games are definitely better than Blacklist, without a doubt in my mind. I just like those games more. And, well, I haven't played Double Agent, so there's that. And yeah, Blacklist is a better game than Conviction. It's just better Conviction. Like, I don't know, I mean, I hear people say, like, I hear some people say, like, oh my goodness. What? What was that? The guy was like in alert mode for like a whole 2 seconds, but I took him out and now nothing matters. I mean, it still counted as a stealth knockout. Wait, what was that? That was so strange. That was really strange. What was that? That was bizarre. But yeah, anyways, back to ranking Splinter Cell games. Like, I don't know, I hear people say, oh, Splinter Cell Conviction's better. Like, the only thing I would agree about with Splinter Cell Conviction is maybe the story's better. Not even. Like, this game has a more boring story, but it's also like better told, I'd say. So, and here, okay, I'm actually wondering if I kept that guy alive, would I be able to use the biometrics? I don't know. I think those biometrics might have been locked. Alright, so like Blacklist does a lot of great things, but one thing I miss, interrogation. So, okay, if you're replaying a level, interrogations are kind of pointless because, you know, you already know everything you need to do. And look at that, was so lucky. That was insanely lucky. Okay, so back to talking about Splinter Cell again. So this is gonna be a guy at the elevator. Gotta knock him out with stuff. I hope you're following along here pretty well. And then, you know, we go down here. But yeah, like I was saying, interrogations, I miss them. I kind of miss when they weren't just cutscenes. I could actually just do them in the game. Because, I don't know, Conviction made them into unskippable cutscenes. Blacklist improves them by making them skippable cutscenes, but yeah, Conviction had unskippable cutscenes, and like Blacklist now has interrogations, which are skippable cutscenes, but they're still locked. You know, they're still like, you know, way too cinematic, way too like, you know, blah 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 blah. Like, I want to do them on my own. I don't want to feel like I'm being handheld while doing these interrogations. And then there's like those really fun optional interrogations, like those are always nice to do. There was something else I missed from Splinter Cell, the older games. I mean, I guess no waypoint markers. I'd like that. I mean, now, could you turn off waypoint markers in Blacklist? Maybe you can, but I'm not going to do it. The levels aren't designed around it. So I'm just not going to do it. Like, I'll use waypoint markers if the game's designed around waypoint markers, alright? Like, it's just how it is. Though, for something like Dishonored, you should probably turn off waypoint markers. I'll do Dishonored one day. That's a fun stealth game. Kind of like Deus Ex. I'm kind of tired about talking this game. Look, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm being very negative. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't this negative when I was talking about Conviction, though. I haven't watched my Conviction commentary in a long while, so I probably was that negative because I feel much more strongly about this game than I do Conviction. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's more fun to play. This game is way more fun to play than Conviction. I don't know how you could put Conviction over this game. Like, I just can't. This is just Conviction. All the benefits of Conviction with like less of the drawbacks. Like, it's just. I just don't see how you can put Conviction over this game. I just can't. Besides the story, which some people get attached to that story because, you know, Michael Ironside does a better job. And Michael Ironside is the voice in that game. He does a much better job than the guy in this game. The story is like a lot more interesting. It's a much more interesting hook. I just don't think the game does much with its hook. It's just, and also I just don't like that game's tone. It's very obnoxious. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Alright, so here I reload a checkpoint because here's a stealth part, and this stealth part could be a bit inconsistent. So yeah, I recommend rappelling very quickly downstairs, trying to get it to a piece of cover, and run. Start running to like hug the left side of the. Oh, there's that guy there. So yeah, take him out. Take him out. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, there's like a vent we have to get into, and I don't think I'm taking the optimal path to the vent, but, you know, I get to the vent eventually. And yeah, you gotta wait for the camera, so that's very nice. I mean, I like the little camera there. I like how visual, like, the camera's display is. Like, and there we go. There's a vent you gotta go into. And through this vent, I think we're going to reach like the final big stealth challenge of the game. Wait, no, not yet. We're very close, but not there yet. So we have to take another vent to get to the final like stealth challenge of the game, which is like we have 3 objective markers, you know, kind of 3 things to hack, and a big area to kind of sneak around in. And you have to do it in one go. So this is pretty much how all the Grim missions are like. Just kind of, you have 3 objective markers, you have to go do something, and it's in a big area with like a lot of different pathways to kind of connect in between each other. And this is like some of my favorite stuff in the game. So like the Grim missions are some of my favorite stuff in the game, and like the final stealth challenge of this game is like one of my favorite objectives. So yeah, I'm gonna start by going through that vent, and it's gonna take us to like this place here. There's gonna be 2 guards there. I mean, most of the time when I try to get through this place, like the guards won't notice me, but sometimes there was like one time where they noticed me. So once again, a little RNG, you just gotta deal with it. And most of the time, like guards will be away, so you just kind of hack this computer, very nice, and then you can kind of make your way out of the building. There's gonna be a vent. Oh, to be fair, I think I actually had to knock out a guy once to kind of get through here. Just it depends. But yeah, anyways, here I'm just gonna go through this vent, and this vent I think is gonna take me to another location. Well, I'm gonna be on my way to another location. So yeah, here's gonna be a pipe. I'm gonna climb the pipe, and then once I climb the pipe, I'm gonna take this guy out. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna take this guy out because there's this camera here. The camera could notice the guy, so I don't know. Like, I think I'm going to wait for this guy to actually either turn around, or I'm going to wait for the camera to turn around so I can knock him out. Something along those lines. Let's see. Okay, he's in a very inconvenient spot at the moment. I don't know. Oh, I'm going to shoot him. That was probably the best course. But now I got to move out of the way before the camera notices him, because I do not want anyone to get a little too scared. So yeah, I'm going to walk into this area, and this area is going to have another objective. And entering this objective is going to be pretty easy, though I think I'm going to take out the people who are guarding it. So it's like one person looking back, and I don't know who it is, and it's kind of hard. Oh, I'm going to take that person out. They're controlling an RC, and oh yeah, another thing. So Perfectionist difficulty, so you have these goggles which let you see through walls, and on Perfectionist difficulty, you can't see through walls anymore. Look, I don't know, that's a common thing which higher difficulties do. Like in The Last of Us, like you have this ability that lets you see through walls. But on the hardest difficulty in the first The Last of Us game, you couldn't see through walls anymore. So it's like, oh, okay. I don't know, because it's like those goggles are a fun tool to use, but for some reason I'm not allowed to use them on harder difficulties. Like, okay, all right. Another thing which the Perfectionist difficulty does, I don't know. Like it removes the mark and execute feature, which, you know, whatever. That feature was kind of dumb. Like I mean, I think I enjoyed the game more without it. So. And whatever, it definitely switches up how you play the game, I think. And, you know, increases in enemy AI and all that, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, like, Perfectionist difficulty was fun. I like playing on it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something else about this game, which isn't related to difficulty. So here I'm going to this place, and, like, there's a guard there, so I'm going to wait for him to walk away. And, okay, it's very, very lucky of me that I can hack this thing without the other guy seeing. Like, honestly, I don't know if this is consistent. I mean, maybe the guy will look at you, but, like, every time I've done this, the guy has not looked back at me. So I'm just very happy that he doesn't. So I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna go through this vent here, and I think I struggle a bit trying to get to this final objective marker because I don't have a clear path to it. I think I just kind of walk around a bit, I explore, and I eventually end up getting to it. So yeah, there's the big heavy guy there. I don't know if I'm gonna take him out or not. I mean, I'm probably going to take him out. Alright, so let me talk about the unrelated thing. So your goggle colors. So there's this one goggle color called Ghost Blue, but it's only accessible if you unlock it through Uplay. But this game, you have to, in order to play it, you have to boot up Ubisoft Connect, not Uplay. Like, I don't know, usually with these other like Ubisoft games that require Uplay, like Far Cry 3, you know, like you buy it on Steam and then you play it and then it starts up Uplay. But no, this game, it starts up Ubisoft Connect. So it's like, you know, you can't buy the Uplay stuff in Ubisoft Connect. You have to go to Uplay, and it's just like, what is this? Why do you have 2 separate services, you idiots? Look, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're not that stupid. I'm sure it made them some money. I mean, hell, I'm on it. I had to do stuff. I mean, did I spend any money on it? I don't think I did, but it's like, All right, the throat hurtness is coming back. Owie, owie, owie. Long video, though it is my shortest Splinter Cell video. And yeah, there we go. We're done with the final stealth challenge of this game. I think it was very nice, but we're not done with the game quite yet. This game has a very nice idea, and also I'm going to stop talking for a bit because I'm a little tired. I'm going to rest my voice for a bit.
Why isn't air circulating? Do you copy?
Ventilation is off.
God. Oh.
You have not thought this one through.
You won't risk shooting him.
Why? Because you're gonna kill him?
I'm sorry. No!
I love how he delivers that. It's so funny. But yeah, so Ghost Blue, it's a cool like goggle color, but I think it's stupid they have to unlock Uplay. Like, oh, that's one thing with this game. Like, this game has a bunch of ridiculous ass like things you have to do to unlock stuff in this game. Like, it's like you'll see an item and it's like, oh, cool, can I unlock that? Oh, you have to play the Splinter Cell Blacklist mobile game. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you put that in your single player game? Like, I mean, hell, at least this game isn't like mandatory online. You know, like. Unlike a Hitman, like that's like my biggest issue with that game. Like those Hitman games, those Hitman games are spectacular. They're amazing. The only issues with them is that they have to be always online. Like what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Why would you alienate part of your fan base? Just like I hate that. Like those games are fantastic. But that stuff sucks with the always online stuff. And oh, there's this funny glitch that happens sometimes when you're doing this, and it happens in TGP's video, where you're the villain of the game here. Oh, Sadiq, he'll actually just be standing over Briggs. He won't he won't teleport away. He won't run away. He'll just be standing next to Briggs, and he'll have his gun pointed at him. So he'll just teleport over here. But for me, that glitch did not happen for me. And here is Splinter Cell's like first real like attempt at a boss fight. And it's a cool idea, though it's a little underdeveloped in this game. And yes, so pretty much all you have to do is kind of run over here, kind of tackle Sadiq, and then point the gun at him and shoot him once, and then the boss fight's over. Now, I did not know that you had to point the gun at him. I just kind of kept shooting the bullet, and, you know, like, I thought that, like, oh, you have to do this multiple times, you know, because it's an actual boss fight. But no, you can just kind of run up to him, press a button, shoot him, and then it's over. And it's like, you know, why not make it that you have to fight him like 3 times over to kind of, you know, drag out the fight of it, you know, make it more of a fight. You know, it's a little arbitrary, but it would serve the purpose of a boss fight. This is just too easy, like, once you know how to do it. And then here you just kind of mash E because it's a bunch of QTEs and all that. It's like, but the video is pretty much already done. Like, I mean, I don't know, it just feels weird. Why do you let the player end the boss fight that quickly? Just make him, like, struggle a little bit more, because, like, I'm not really engaging with this boss fight's like mechanics at all if I can take him down only like once. You know, like, let me take him down like maybe 3, maybe even 4 times, and then let the boss fight end. But yeah, this is the video. This is a Splinter Cell Blacklist. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and I will see you all then. And Merry Christmas.
There are 12 nations that stand behind the engineers. Behind me! Are you ready to fight 12 wars? Kill me! Kill me! Those nations will rise up. Put me on trial. And I will spill every secret I know. I've already won! There's always another option.
Wire transfer received.
So how many rounds does this thing hold? Just 20 rounds in the basic magazine. Get your finger out of the guard. You gotta put a hole in the plane.
Relax.
Hey, Briggs.
What's that?
My gun?
Yeah, what's he doing out of his cage?
Hey, it's nice to see you too, Briggs.
Just give me some weapons intel.
It's like I'm part of the team now, huh?
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, Kobe.
Welcome back, Briggs.
Good to see you too, Grim.
So what's up?
They're making it official.
That the United States has conducted an operation that has killed Majid Sadiq, the leader of the terrorist organization known as the Engineers.
First time I talk to a dead man. Who are you? We're gonna start from the top.
We give thanks to the brave men and women who work tirelessly to bring these terrorists to justice. The world will never know their work. Their names will be lost to history. But their sacrifice will never be forgotten.